ja. Jeg har mikrofonlyd. Jeg har spillyd. Jeg har lydlyd. Jeg har Dalek, som der siger hej Teddy. Shinto Hajime. Eller Hajime. Something. Yes. Ja, okay. Vi hvad lavede vi sidst? Vi spillede Broken Sword. Nej, jeg skulle ikke spille det her igen. Det er spændende, om jeg kan finde ud af det her. Spillet sidder stadig i. Så kan den finde... Okay, så den går direkte til Wii U'en. Okay. Nej. Sådan der. Det var bedre. Okay, hvor var vi sidst? Hej alle sammen. Sidst vi spillede Broken Sword, så skete der det, at Nico, som er en journalist, blev kontaktet, fordi hun skulle ud på interviewe en eller anden forretningsmand. Skulle ud og forretne en eller anden ud og interviewe en forretningsmand. Og så når hun kommer ud og skal til at begynde interviewet, så bliver han slået ihjel. Og hun finder så ud af, at det var en mime, der gjorde det, og fordi han er klædt ud, så må det være den berygtede costume killer, som der har slået ham ihjel. Og hun finder så ud af, at der var et eller andet med hendes far også, at hendes far kendte ham her, forretningsmanden her. Så går vi så hen til George Dobert, som er på ferie i Frankrig. Hvor han så næsten bliver slået ihjel af en klovn, som der er der for at myrde en anden person. Han er så klædt ud som en klovn, stjæler en mappe, en taske, en kuffert, og styrter af Pommern til. Og nu er George så på jagt efter klovnen, og Nico er på jagt efter mimen, som der viser sig at være samme person. Og det er højst sandsynligt en person, der hedder Karen, eller hedder han Merlin, eller hedder han noget helt tredje, som der bor på Hotel Ubu, og på hotellet, hvor George så finder ud af, at han har et hemmeligt dokument, ikke hemmeligt dokument, et gammelt manuskript, som han nu skal til at samle op og tage med tilbage til Nico, og det var der, vi kom fra. Og jeg har faktisk klaret 31% af spillet. Det er alligevel en god del. Nå, hvad har vi her? Vi har manuskriptet, så vi skal bare lige hurtigt smide, ligesom vi gjorde sidst. Skal vi smide det ud af vinduet?
I knew this was no way to treat an ancient manuscript, but I couldn't let it
Og jeg
fall
så
into the
fandt vi
hands
ud
of the
af,
goons waiting outside.
Skaberne af spillet har fjernet alle dødsscener i spillet, så jeg skal ikke være så bange for at dø. Der var, så vidt jeg husker, var der 3 steder i spillet, man kan dø, hvis man gjorde noget forkert.
Just a minute, monsieur.
What's your problem?
No problem. If you cooperate.
What do you want?
Just a routine security check. Nothing to worry yourself about.
Oh, well, all right.
Search him,
Hi,
Black.
Chi-Chi.
You bet.
You bet.
Hey, knock it off. Get off, you big ape.
Nothing, Guido. Zilch.
Our apologies, monsieur.
What? I had to report you to the authorities.
Round here, we are the authorities.
You want I should break his arms?
No. Let him go, Black.
You want me to break his arms?
If the manuscript was what Flap and Guido were after, they were going to be disappointed.
Jeg får så meget løst bare ikke bare et mord, men så vidt jeg husker i tidligere cutscenes, så får jeg løst 4 eller 5 mord. Så det går så godt.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, hi. Come in, Josh.
Kom ind, Josh. Senere i spillet, så kommer hun til at sige Shoshi. Kom ind, Shoshi.
What are you doing to help trace the killer clown?
Research, Josh.
Yeah? You have a copy of the clown's yearbook?
I have a telephone and lots of contacts.
Oh, well, did you find anything useful?
Not yet. I'm employing my first and most useful weapon.
What's that?
Patience.
Oh, I've heard of that. Isn't it a substitute for decisive thinking? Do you have a boyfriend?
Not anymore. There was someone. A guy in my final year, but it didn't work out. Neither did my degree.
I'm sorry.
I'm not.
Tell me more about your family.
When I was a little girl, I used to spend the winter with my grandfather and grandma. They were the best times, warm and safe in their tiny cottage. My grandfather rolled cigarettes while grandma made hot chocolate and cakes. One day, he stopped his scrolling. He put the lid back on his tobacco jar and took me in his arms. I laughed and wriggled, but he hushed me to be silent. With his unshaven chin all scratchy in my ear, he told me his secret.
What did he say?
He said, I don't smoke, but she likes to think I do.
What a weird old man.
Don't call my grandfather weird. He was the nicest guy ever. I wish I was back in that cottage instead of this crummy apartment in this noisy city.
Meget sød historie. Jeg er ved at spille Broken Sword 2, og må bare sige, at etteren bare er flottere og bedre. Fik du lyst til at spille Broken Sword 2, fordi jeg spiller etteren, eller er der noget dybere der?
I found this matchbook in the killer's hotel room.
Og hvilken platform
It's from
spiller
the
du det på?
Club Alamut.
Never heard of it. Is there anything written inside it?
No, what were you expecting?
If this was a movie, there'd be a clue. A name or an address. That's no use. There aren't even any matches in it.
Oh well, I'll keep it as a souvenir.
Oh my god, Teddy tror bare, han er så vigtig. Jeg siger bare, at det er en meget sjovt sammentræf, at jeg sidder her og spiller etteren, og så spiller Long Sister Silver 2'eren lige pludselig. Det gennemførte jeg, og nu spiller jeg 2'eren. Så vil jeg gerne lige spørge, er det også Director's Cut af 2'eren, du spiller? For jeg mener også, der bliver lavet en Director's Cut af 2'eren. Og hvis ikke, var det så Director's Cut af 1'eren, du spillede?
I found this in the killer's room.
What is it? A credit card?
ID, Thomas Merlin, of the Gruber Electronics Corporation.
Never heard of him or the company.
You're just not going to believe what
Og nu
I
kommer det
found.
vigtigste.
It's not another part of the clown's costume, is it?
It's a medieval manuscript. Khan left it in the safe at the U-boot.
It's incredible.
Directors.
Is this what he took from Plantar?
It could be, which means it's worth enough to kill for.
Look there, 2 guys on the same horse.
Oh, yeah. Maybe they couldn't afford one each. What of it?
Have you ever heard of the Knights Templar? Their official seal was an image of 2 knights sharing a horse. Whatever this manuscript means, it's connected with the Templars.
Næste
How
gang
come
jeg
you
kan
know
vælge
about
noget,
these
så skal jeg lige
I
hente og
learned
vise noget.
about them while writing an article on the Crusades. This guy, named Eustapian, arrived one day at the court of King of Jerusalem. He offered to protect the Christian pilgrims from the displaced Muslim armies. The king would be able to guarantee safe transit to Christians in the Holy Land. Safer journeys meant more pilgrims, and pilgrims meant trade and wealth. The Templars proved invaluable to the king as a mercenary army. It was said that they never asked how many the enemy numbered, just where they were. And as the years went by, the Templars grew in wealth and numbers. They were so rich, even kings came to them for loans. But at the height of their power, they fell foul of the King of France. He rounded them up and turned them over to the Inquisition. Thousands of Templars were subject to torture and confessed to heresy. Of course, at the hands of the Inquisition, there wasn't much they wouldn't confess to. The last Grand Master Jacques de Molay was burned alive. But the treasure of the Knights Templar was never found.
Jeez. So the treasure is hidden, waiting to be discovered?
If there ever was a treasure, it's been lost for 600 years. Anyway, we're supposed to be investigating a serial killer, not a medieval treasure trove.
But maybe that's what the clown and his accomplices are after. Maybe this manuscript is the key.
You'd better leave it here for safekeeping.
Jeg skal lige vise noget. Og hej FIFA-kongen, velkommen til. Ja, som Chichi skriver, jeg håber, at din hovedpine den snart går væk. Husk at hydrere også. Nå, her er originalspillet. Ikke Director's Cut. Originalspillet til PlayStation. Så forskellen på Director's Cut og originalspillet er, at de dele, hvor man spiller som Nico, er ikke med i spillet. Alle de gange i det her spil, at man hører, at stemmerne lige pludselig bliver mere klare og mere sådan tydelige. Det er nye ting, der er blevet optaget. Ja, du kører bare løs. Og så sådan nogle ting som for eksempel de der store billeder, som der kommer frem nu her, hvor man kan se billedet af George og Nico, mens de snakker sammen. Det er også nyt. Så sådan nogle ting er slet ikke med i det her. Man kan jo så sige, at det her, det er den klassiske måde at spille spillet på. Jeg synes ikke, der mangler noget på den her version her. Der er også 3 områder, som jeg nævnte tidligere, man kan dø i det her, hvis man gør noget forkert. Plus at... der var en ting til. Jo, senere i spillet er der et sted, hvor man ser en person komme galt afsted. Jeg vil ikke sige hvem, det skal vi nok få set. Men i den her version, der er der blod i spillet. Det er der ikke i Director's Cut, hvilket er grunden til, at det måtte komme på Wii. Så ja, de fjernede blodet for at få og dødsscenerne for at få ratingen ned. Nå, nu mens jeg har jer, så har jeg et spørgsmål til jer. Det er ikke en lovning. Det er et spørgsmål for at se, om der måske kunne være interesse i det. Jeg har her en pose med Joy-Cons, som der ikke kan tages imod af Nintendo. Fordi at der ikke er den originale kvittering på den, og derfor vil de ikke tage den ind til reparation. Jeg har et reparationskit. Jeg har aldrig åbnet sådan en her før, men jeg vil meget gerne prøve at gøre det. Jeg vil meget gerne prøve at gøre det på stream. Bare for at se, hvordan det går, og hvor galt det kan gå, og alt sådan noget der. Så hvis der er interesse i det, så er det noget, som der måske kommer til at ske. Nå. Vi har stadig ikke prøvet at dukke op ved deres egen shop. Mener du at dukke op til Bergsala i Sverige? For jeg synes ikke, jeg gider tage hele vejen til Bergsala. Der sker nok ikke noget ved at prøve at åbne en enkelt en af dem.
Let's take another look at the manuscript.
Look there, 2 guys on the same horse.
There's a guy with a sword and a bull.
The only mythological bull I know of is the Minotaur, but he was only half bull.
I don't think I'd like to be half a bull, even if it was the bottom half.
What's that object between them?
It looks like a gem on top of a tripod. There's a guy working on a loom. He's weaving a carpet or a tapestry.
Or a duvet cover? It's a clue to a place, I reckon. Somewhere famed for weaving and ships.
Where folk live in barrels?
It beats copper boxes.
There's a woman looking at her reflection in a mirror, but the reflection has 3 hideous faces.
She reminds me of the wicked queen in Snow White.
She was the one who said, "Mirror, mirror on the wall," wasn't she? She made me cry so much when I was a kid, Mom carried me out of the movie theater.
She didn't frighten me in the least.
Like I said, I was only a kid. I didn't like the crocodile in Peter Pan either. A knight with a crystal ball. Now, there's something written on the scroll beside the knight.
Yes, but it's written in Latin. Per disciplinam mea lux videbis.
By my teachings, you will see the light.
You speak Latin? Where did you learn a trick like that?
A trick? I studied law, okay? I can read Latin.
My, you're touchy. Tell me that again. Let's face it, we need help, George. Someone who knows about these things.
Who do you suggest? Indiana Jones?
I know a guy who specializes in medieval studies. His name is Lobino.
Huh. Some stuffy old fossil who gets horny over ancient relics, I suppose.
Far from it. Andre isn't the stereotypical professor you have in mind.
Where can I find this Lobino guy?
At the Krön Museum. I'll give you the address.
Jamen, så ved jeg, hvad jeg skal. Jeg skal en tur til Krön Museum.
I have to go.
I have to go.
Don't forget to look for Lobino at the Krön Museum.
Jeg synes, at en åbner en Joy-Con stream vil være spændende. Og du har til at skifte joystick på 2 af dem. Ja, det har jeg. Men jeg synes nemlig også, det vil være spændende. Så det tror jeg gør. Jeg skal bare lige snakke med de andre også. Joy-Con stream. Lad mig se her. Okay, den er meget... lidt om sådan der. Café de la Chandelavare, Rue de Jarry, Poste de Paris, Musikrum.
Pardon me.
Oui, monsieur?
Are you Lobino?
Oh, no. Fancy you mistaking me for him. No.
Im.
I am the deputy custodian.
But Lobino does work here.
Work? I wouldn't go so far as to call it that. He studies here most days, but as you can see for yourself, not today.
Do you know anything about medieval manuscripts?
Not me, monsieur. I am no scholar, though people often mistake me for one. It is the uniform, I guess. They see the clothes. They are impressed.
And they ask you to park their cars?
They ask me to park the... No. They assume I am an authority on the exhibits in my care.
Whereas you know next to nothing about history.
Of course not. All I am saying is, I am no scholar. Not like Monsieur Lobino.
Do you know anything about the Knights of the Temple?
No, sir. Not a sausage.
Og den skal jeg begynde at bruge. Not a sausage.
Thanks for your help. In the case was a spindly tripod, blackened with age and pitted with rust. It was identical to the tripod pictured on the manuscript. A notice identified it as 15th century from Western Ireland. It had been found in Loch Marne at the site of a Knights Templar preceptory.
Loch Marne?
Ireland! What's that?
This tripod was found in Ireland.
I will have to ask you to keep your voice down.
I'm sorry, I was excited.
Nu er du snacky igen. Har du ikke nogen snacks?
Leave it alone. That closet is over 3,000 years old.
Closet.
Closet? It's a sarcophagus.
Du har ikke nogen sausages. Muni er en københavnerstang. Nå, Muni har en københavnerstang.
This is ridiculous. I could be here for hours.
Jeg tror ikke, det var det, jeg skulle gøre. Kan jeg så bare tage en tur til...
No, monsieur. No et no.
Okay.
Hey, jeg havde 2 hegn. Som by the way er mere gul, end du husker dem. George.
Pardon me.
Oui, monsieur?
Du skal ikke bare pille ved alting.
Do you know anything about the Knights of the Temple?
No, sir. Not a sausage.
The sign on the tripod
Sausage.
says it was found at a Templar preceptory.
It does?
Yeah. It doesn't mention John D. at all.
Most remiss.
You don't know anything about the tripod, do you?
No, I don't. I never had much of a start in life, you see. I owe what little education I gained to my uncle. He was an optician, but he also doubled as the village school teacher. He taught me the alphabet. Well, 19 letters of it. The bottom row of the chart was too small even for him to read, so he left them
Why don't you start over and enroll for adult education?
You know, I never thought of that. Do you think? If I studied art and did all my homework, I could be a professor of history?
At your age? Dream on.
George, sådan siger man ikke. Man siger, ja selvfølgelig. Lige meget, hvor gammel man er, hvis du studerer, så kan du faktisk rigtig, rigtig meget. Lige så snart man giver op, så er det færdigt.
Do you know anything about medieval manuscripts?
Not me,
Wow,
monsieur.
George. Wow.
I am no scholar, although people often mistake me for one. It is the uniform.
And they ask you to
They ask me. They assume.
whereas...
Of course, not like monsieur.
Can you give me any further information about the tripod?
Certainly, monsieur. It's infamous. That tripod, that belonged to John Dee.
What's the importance of John Dee's tripod?
Dee was the most famous escapologist of the 16th century. The Houdini of his time.
Don't you mean alchemist? Escapologists use ropes, chains, and handcuffs, not tripods.
Well, whatever he was, that is the tripod he used in his experiments.
What kind of experiments did John Dee perform with his tripod?
Oh, the usual. Didn't you study chemistry at school?
Yeah, but we skipped over thaumatology. Can I take a closer look at the tripod?
What? Get it out of the case? Ah, no! That tripod is protected by a sophisticated surveillance system.
How sophisticated?
A painfully loud alarm bell.
How is the alarm bell triggered?
By the slightest pressure on or movement of any part of the case wherein that tripod is situated.
It strikes me that to call your alarm system sophisticated is, well, stretching the truth a little.
It has never failed yet. The sophistication is in its simplicity.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, monsieur. Is there any reason why I should?
I guess not.
Streamlabs!
Have you ever heard of the Club Alamut?
Oh no, I don't frequent places like that.
Do you recognize this ID pass?
No.
No. Shake his hand.
Would you like to shake my hand?
Not while I'm on duty, monsieur.
Nå, okay. Ja, han er altså ikke til meget hjælp.
Do you recognize this red nose?
I don't think so.
What do you make of this tissue?
It is absolutely disgusting, monsieur.
What does this tool mean to you?
That belongs in a museum.
Pardon?
It is a priceless historical artifact, if I am not mistaken.
No, it's a plain old tool for lifting drain covers. Thanks for your help.
It belongs in a museum. Jeg tror, det var en reference til Indiana Jones. Jeg tror ikke, der er mere inde i museet her. Så lad os tage til point and click. Indiana Jones var fede. Det faktisk det bedste, det var Fate of Atlantis. Men The Infernal Machine, det var også, selvom det ikke var et point and click adventure, Infernal Machine var mere et third person action. Men ja, Fate of Atlantis var rigtig, rigtig godt. Humle! Velkommen til Humle! Skulle man bruge et hint til... Nej, det skal vi ikke. Vi skal til Rougerie. Hej! Shadow! Velkommen til. Jeg tænker, at nu...
Hi. I've been to the crew museum.
Jeg tror, jeg tager en tur til Irland.
Did you speak to Labino?
No, he wasn't there.
Lyder det ikke fedt med en tur til Irland?
I found the tripod.
Where?
In the museum. It belonged to the Templars. It was dug up in Ireland at a place called Loch Marn.
I have heard of Loch Marn. I read an article about the castle. Take a look for yourself.
A popular gossip magazine? You read that rubbish?
No, I write it.
Professor Nigel Pegram, excavating the medieval castle at Loch Marn. That's strange.
Spillet toren.
He
Ja, det har
resigned
jeg.
his chair at Durham
Etteren og toeren er de
University
eneste to,
in
jeg har
order to
spillet.
devote his time to the excavation. Not only that, but he canceled the filming of a fourth series of his popular television program. This site at Loch Marn must be awful important to him.
He's a professor of history. They're all cuckoo.
All the same, I'd like to talk to this Professor Pegram. How do you feel about a trip to Ireland?
Disappointed.
Huh?
That I won't be going. I want to follow up the Bellotta case. If you really think Picram's dam is important, why don't you visit Loch Marn?
On my own? I'm not so sure about that. Where is Ireland exactly?
Mange tak for den, Humle. Så er det vodka-tid. Lidt hårdt at drikke så meget vodka.
Have you found out any more about the murders?
Well, it may be nothing, but both the clan's victims visited Paris earlier this year.
When?
The second week of July. They were both here at the same time.
Did they meet?
I don't know, but I can't imagine it was coincidence.
Jeg gider ikke at se manuskriptet igen.
I have to go.
Okay,
I have
I'll
to
see
go.
you later.
Kan vi tage til Irland nu? Ja, det kan vi. Ja, Robert.
I passed the castle on the way into Loch Marn. The castle where Pegram's excavation was located.
A few hours later. Jeg skulle have vidst, at de kom, fordi så havde jeg lavet dem klar, sådan, så jeg bare skulle trykke på en knap. Few hours later.
Hi there.
What?
What's your name, kid?
Who are you calling kid? Who the hell are you?
Who the hell are you? Så jeg kan enten sige, at jeg er George, eller jeg er Rousseau.
I'm George Stobart, and I'm with the good guys.
You're a head case, mister. A few sandwiches short of the picnic.
Cut the crap and tell me your name.
Liam McGuire.
What are you doing hanging around the bar, McGuire?
I'm on the run from me dad.
Why? Did you do something bad?
I ain't done nothing, boss.
You can tell me, kid. Is it your dad?
Oh, sir. He drinks every last penny down his evil throat. And there's me poor old mother, bedridden and dying of presumption. I tried to buy her medicine. Chopped firewood for Father Mahoney till me fingers bled. The old skinflint cheated me too. But I took the pennies he gave me back home. Look, Ma, says I. See what your darling son has earned with his own sweat and blood. When suddenly, me dad appears and grabs the loot. I'm off to Dublin, heavy drinking, says he. Watch out till I get back. That's why I runned away.
Something in the grin on his face told me he wasn't being strictly truthful. Compared to him, Huckleberry Finn was a candidate for Altar Boy of the Year.
Ja, okay. Lad os snakke om slottet.
What can you tell me about the castle, McGuire?
What do you want to know?
Well, can I get inside?
No, it's locked up.
Does anyone live there?
No. Only, what do you want to know? Oh, nothing.
You know something about the castle you're not telling me, don't you?
No,
What is it you're
No.
covering up? Is it something you're scared of?
I ain't scared of nothing.
I ain't scared of nothing. Det er jo dobbelt negativ, så han er faktisk bange for noget. Aha! Got him! A few sandwiches short of a picnic.
I'll give you one last chance to tell me about the castle.
Oh, yeah? And what if I don't?
Then I'm taking you back to school.
Oh, there's a ghost. It's called the Phantom of Loch Man.
Jeg sagde lige præcis det samme. Tak, Teddy. Selv tak.
You're not telling me you believe in ghosts, are you?
Mister, I seen it with me very own eyes. Last Tuesday night, I went up to see what that dig was about. I just reached the top of the wall when I hears this awful noise.
What
Det lyder
sort
ikke
of
som en
noise?
lille dreng.
A horrible snuffling and snorting, like O'Brien's pig, only worst. It was coming from inside the castle.
Did you find out what was making the noise in the castle?
No fear. I just sat there on the wall like Humpty Dumpty. The moon was cracked and greasy like an old dinner plate. The yard was full of shadows. I could have been hiding anything. I would have gone home, but my legs had lost their stuffing.
Hi, champion.
Did you get to see the ghost?
Indeed I did. And a fearsome sight it is too. I sat on my arse, waited while the moon went down. Then out it comes from the shadows, all grey and tattered and hunched over like an old bent willow. Then I hears this spluttering and splashing and horrible laughter in the dark. I was so scared. Why, I fell off the bloody wall.
Fell off the bloody wall.
I'm sure there's a rational explanation for what you saw at the castle.
There is. The bloody place is haunted.
Yeah, okay.
Have you seen a guy dressed as a clown?
Here in Lochmarn, they all dress like clowns.
The man I'm looking for is a dangerous psychotic.
Jesus. It's just like that film I saw. There's this clown, see, and he's after this kid who saw him kill a guy. He tries to warn the sheriff, only no one believes him. Then, while he's in the tub, the clown cuts him up with a chainsaw.
My God, that doesn't sound suitable for a kid like you.
Who are you calling a kid? I'm 25.
Yeah, right. You're not a day over 14.
Oh
I'm
no, it's
25.
25 that I am. Married with a car and 3 kids. 10 kids if you count the wives.
Ja. Ja, stemmen, den er der, men resten er der ikke.
Do you know a man called Pegram?
Can you describe him like on the telly in the cop shows?
He's an English archaeologist.
I know the man you mean if he's the one.
Can you tell me where I'd find Pegram?
No, I can't, 'cause he's not here now, but if I sees him, I'll ask him.
Do you know what Pegram was doing in the castle?
Digging for buried treasure. Jewels and gold and skeletons, like in the films.
In the films?
Have you ever seen this man before?
What a slimy character. No, I never seed him.
Give me your hand.
Get lost.
Oh, come on. I just want to show you a little trick.
No way, mister. I don't do tricks. Father Mahoney told me I'd burn in hell if I did.
I just want to shake your hand, that's all.
No way.
Father
See you later,
Mahoney
kid.
told me I'd burn
Okay,
in hell
mister.
if I did. Ja, okay. Jamen lad os da gå ind i, hvad er det, den bar.
He wasn't listening. Hi, my name's Stobart, George Stobart.
Hello there, mister. What can I do for you?
Do you know Professor Pegram?
Do I know him? Do I know the good professor himself? No, I don't. I mean, I know who he is, but I don't know him to talk to.
Do you know anything about Pegram's excavation?
Only that he didn't have the right tools for the job. What he needed was shovels and a JCB.
Pegram was digging for historical remains, not coal.
Is that a... What the hell for?
It's the science of archaeology, Pops. Understanding how people used to live by what they left behind. One day archaeologists might be digging up our remains.
Imagine that, Mr. O'Brien. I wonder what they'll find.
Well, it won't be arrowheads and beakers. Fast food cartons and favorite condoms, more likely.
Bullshit.
Did anyone from the village work at Peagram's dig?
I tried it myself, but that high and mighty history man called me incontinent. What a nerve. Hadn't I dug more holes than the rest of them put together?
Can you tell me anything about the castle on the hill?
Oh, I don't know much about anything. You should ask Mr. O'Brien here. He doesn't join up writing. Would you be one of them history fellows yourself?
That's right. Professor Stobart, Miskatonic University.
You're an archaeologist, and you're asking us about the castle.
Excuse me, Mr. O'Brien. The gentleman was talking to me. How come you didn't leave with the others?
I didn't know they'd gone.
Oh, yes. Packed their spades and shovels and away they went.
Seems I missed all the excitement.
What excitement?
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
It's a handsome mug on that fella, to be sure. Is he a film star?
Bye for now.
Så prøver vi at snakke med Mr. O'Brien.
Hello there. My name's George Stobart.
Pleased to meet you, I'm Sean. I'm O'Brien. Can I help you?
Have you heard of the Phantom?
More than that. I've seen it. And let me tell you, it's a dreadful spectre.
So it's not just a local legend. There really is a Phantom of Loch Marn.
Oh no. I was talking about the Phantom of the Opera.
Nej. Phantom of the Opera er ikke et spectacle. Er det egentlig noget negativt, hvis det er et spectacle? It's a spectacle. Eller er det en god ting? Anyways, Phantom of the Opera er en fed musical.
Have you ever heard of the Knights Templar?
I most certainly have. A remarkable institution. Did you know they were the originators of our system of credit? Their financial empire stretched from the Atlantic to the Caspian Sea. With bases in so many countries, they had to establish
FIFA, du skal
new methods
huske
of
at passe på dig selv. Det er det vigtigste.
The Knights Templar were nothing but a bunch of bankers.
I don't get it. Are you saying these Templar guys invented bank charges?
In a manner of speaking, I suppose they did.
What a dirty trick. Didn't anyone try to stop them?
Oh yes, they were arrested and many were burnt at the stake.
Good. They bloody well deserved it if they were anything like my bank manager.
Altså, jeg er mere interesseret i, at han siger dreadful. Det siger mere om hans holdning end spectacle. Det har du
What
ret
can
i.
you tell me about the castle, Mr. O'Brien?
It's a fine sight now, isn't it? Dates back to the 10th century, you know. Most of the existing building was added much later, of course.
Are the ruins open to the public?
Oh no, it's much too dangerous. Anyway, there's nothing of interest remaining.
How can I get into the castle?
Well, those walls were built specifically to stop people getting in, Mr. Stobart. But I dare say you'll find a way, if you've the will.
Can you tell me about the tripod which was found at the castle?
Now, there's a bone of contention and controversy. It was dug up by an Englishman of the archaeological persuasion.
Who was this Englishman?
Professor Pegram, the same man who dug up the gem.
Do you know where I can find Pegram?
You're too late to meet that fella.
Is he dead?
Not that, but he's gone from the village. A sore point with our esteemed host, I might add.
Do you know where Pegram has gone?
I'm sorry, but I don't. He upped anchor in the dark and shipped out before the dark.
Why did he do that?
Who knows? A guilty conscience or a secret assignation. Whatever the reason, he'll not be missed in Loch Marn. Maybe now the fuss about the gem has died down, we can get back to normal.
What can you tell me about the gem which Pegram found?
Now there's a gem which should never have been taken. A man would have to be full of greed to covet that stone. What's your interest in the jewel? You're not a reporter, are you?
Nope.
Oh no.
Thank the Lord for that.
Why has Pegram's departure upset the landlord?
He's lost a paying guest, that's why. More than that, there's the question of an unsettled bill. Poor Michael's seen red over the business, and I don't blame him.
Can you tell me more about the landlord?
Mick Leary? He's what you call a would-be sophisticated. The trouble is, his idea of sophistication extends as far as putting paper in the lavatory.
I never worked out why he did that. It's much too dark in there to read.
That's true. Have you ever run your hand over the back of the door? The graffiti is written in Braille.
Goodbye for now.
Okay, ham der, han ser lidt shifty ud, så lad os snakke med ham nu.
My name's George.
Pleased to meet you, mister. My name's Fitzgerald.
What can you tell me about the castle?
There's nothing there. Just an old ruin.
How old?
I really couldn't tell you.
Have you ever explored the castle yourself?
I used to play there sometimes, when I was a kid. Then one of the little ones fell off the wall, broke his head and died.
Ugh.
We didn't go there anymore.
You haven't been up there recently?
No.
Can I get you another drink?
Oh, no thank you. I shouldn't be drinking at all. I'm on tablets for my nerves. More than a pint and I'll pass out.
Do you know Professor Pegram?
He's the archaeologist, isn't he?
That's right. Did you work at Professor Pegram's dig?
What gave you that idea?
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, I'm sure I don't know him.
No.
Does this matchbook mean anything to you?
No.
See you later.
Hvem er ham der?
Hi there, old timer.
What?
What? Hold dig for munden, når du
Nasty
nyser.
cold you've got there. As soon as the words left my lips, I regretted them.
Is there such a thing as a cold which isn't nasty? I put the question to Father Mahoney. Father, says I, why were we born to suffer snot?
What did he say?
He said, it's my reward for being out all night like a sinner. Pious prig. Anyway, this is no ordinary cold. It's the hay fever.
Pollinosis?
Thank you. You're not a policeman, are you?
Excuse me?
Police? No. I'd know it if you were.
Can I buy you a beer?
Very kind, I'm sure. But I don't drink the stuff Leary sells.
What's wrong with it?
Hay
I've
fever.
seen what it can do.
Can you tell me how to get into the castle?
Don't even think about it, me bucko. Lochbarn Castle is haunted.
That's what the kid outside told me, but I don't believe it.
Then you're a fool.
Ghosts don't bother me. I still want to visit that castle.
You can't. It's not open to the public.
There's no one around to stop me, is there?
That's right. Nothing human, anyhow.
Have you ever seen the ghost?
To be sure. With me very own eyes.
Can you describe the ghost?
It was horrible. A wee stunted beast, long beak, straggly, flappy wings.
Are you sure it wasn't a wild animal? A rabbit or a skunk or something?
Skunk? In Lochbarn? That'll be the day. No, that was a ghost, to be sure.
Kan du slå ham der violinisten ned?
I'll see you later.
Nej, det kan jeg ikke. Der er ikke en musikfunktion. Hvorfor kan man ikke?
I'm really feeling it.
Zone!
Hello again.
What?
I think I know what you saw on the castle wall.
I know what I saw.
I don't think so. It was the kid, McGuire.
What?
He was up on the wall last Tuesday night.
What was it?
He thought you were the Phantom of Lochbarn.
Oh!
Do you know Pegram, the archaeologist?
That's the scrawny fellow who was poking around at the castle, isn't it? No, I don't know him.
What's that you're making?
It's a necklace, me bucko.
Oh, sure. Made out of steel wire?
That's right. A necklace for my pretty one. When my little lover peels it round her slender neck, she'll be mine. All mine.
I'll see you later.
Åh, her.
Top of the morning to you.
I beg your pardon.
Well, that's what you Irish say, isn't it?
Do you want something? Or are you just flaunting your xenophobia?
Well, I was trying to be sociable.
Is it a room you're after?
That's not a bad idea. Do you have a vacancy?
I could, if you don't mind waiting until the last guest checks out.
No problem. When will that be?
When the undertaker comes to collect him.
Hvordan går det til det? Jeg er bare lige kort forbi for at sige hej. Jamen altså, det går godt. Vi er i gang med at opklare et mord, jo.
Have you served any, clowns recently?
Hvad er det for et spørgsmål?
You're the first today.
Ah, got him.
Do you know a man called Pegram?
Indeed I do. Are you a friend of his, by any chance?
Oh no, I'm just trying to track him down.
Me too. That son of a bitch should be locked away.
Did Pegram stay here?
Yes, he did. 6 nights plus breakfast.
I'll try a glass of beer, please.
Is this your first pint of real ale?
Well, I guess so. What's real ale, anyhow?
Beer that's brewed from natural ingredients to traditional methods. It shouldn't be kept under pressure or refrigerated. And finally, it should have a good body and distinctive character.
In other words, it's flat and worn with bits in, and it makes you bowl over.
Do you recognize this man?
No, I don't. What do you want with him?
I've got a score to settle.
I don't want any trouble in the bar, mister. If it's a fight you're looking for, see Father Mahoney.
A priest? A man of the cloth?
Sure. And he teaches the boys how to box at the youth club. According to Mahoney, it develops character. Isn't that right, Pat? Didn't he teach you the art of pugilism? Doyle.
Sorry, Michael. I was miles away. What did you say?
Never mind.
Look, I gotta be going.
Altså, man kan sige meget om de ting, de siger i spillet her. Men der er altså character development. Sådan små ting her
It was
der.
a beer-stained piece of toweling.
Prosit. 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 Prosit.
Hey, McGuire.
What?
What is it, mister? Finally.
Do you know anything
Bare roligt,
about
vi skal derind igen.
this dig?
He wouldn't let me anywhere near it. I offered to help, but he chased me off. I didn't want to see his smelly old hole anyhow.
Fedt, fedt. Fedt.
Did anyone from the village work at the dig?
Pegram bought some students and bums with him. He reckoned no one in Lochmarn would know what to look for. The only local guy who worked for him was Sean Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald says he's never been anywhere near the dig.
He's having you on, mister.
See you later, kid.
Okay, mister.
Så Fitzgerald, som der lige sagde, han ikke havde været der, han har altså været der. Så vi skal ind og snakke med Fitzgerald en gang til. Men nu skal vi lige ind og besøge slottet her.
Hi, do you speak English?
Well, no. What if I was to say no? An implication of cognizance shrouded in denial. A pretty poser of a paradox indeed.
I gave him the look I'd perfected when I was 12 and was going to be the greatest hypnotist of all time. It was a killer.
Are you attempting to hypnotize me, or is it the constipation you're suffering?
I was a little out of practice.
Hvordan lander han lige præcis i den rigtige pub af alle pubber i Irland? Det er faktisk meget nemt at forklare, fordi at i Lochmarn er der én pub. Og bussen stopper lige foran den eneste pub, der er. Fordi den eneste pub i Lochmarn er også det eneste hotel i Lochmarn. Faktisk, nu er jeg lige nysgerrig her. Hvis jeg lige hopper ind og ser Google Maps. Og så tager vi lige og gør sådan der. Og så skal vi se her, vi kigger efter Lochmarn. Jeg tror ikke Lochmarn findes, medmindre jeg staver det forkert. Lochmarine. Hvis vi så gør sådan her, og så skriver Broken Sword Lochmarn. Er det sådan, man staver til det? Okay, så Lochmarn er ikke et rigtigt sted. Så ved vi det. Lochmarn er ikke et rigtigt sted. Så jo, der er en pub i Lochmarn.
Have you seen Professor Pegram?
No, he's packed up and gone.
Do you happen to know where?
Back in England, I suppose.
What can you tell me about the castle?
Not much, I'm sorry to say. Most of its history is long forgotten. Ah, but if these old stones could only speak, what stories they'd tell. Stories to make your toes curl and your blood run cold. You know, this castle is said to be over 600 years old.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, but I wouldn't trust him. His eyes are too close together.
Jeg vil heller ikke stole på ham.
I have to go now.
Jamen, det fik jeg ikke så meget ud af. Jeg er ked af det, men jeg bliver nødt til at gå tilbage ind i pubben. Fordi ham der, han løj for mig.
Mr. Fitzgerald? McGuire says he saw you working at the dig. What's more, he saw you talking with Pegram.
I knew this would happen. I knew I'd get caught.
I need to talk to Professor Pegram, if he's still alive.
What do you mean? Is he in danger?
Yeah, you too, if I'm right.
You're not from the Social Security.
Hell no. What makes you think that?
Well, I was claiming benefits at the same time I was working for Pegram.
I'm not in a position to make judgments, Sean. That's between you and your conscience. All I want is to talk to Pegram about the gem.
But he's not here.
I know that. But he left that package with you, didn't he? So where did Pegram go?
I don't know. I swear it. He came to see me early this morning. Said he was leaving. He asked me to give this package to a guy called Marquet.
Show me what's in the package, Sean.
I can't do that.
Why not?
I promised the professor.
So what? You didn't have any qualms about your benefit scam. So where's the harm in taking a peek inside Pegram's package?
You don't know these people. I can't. I don't dare.
This is your last chance to show me the package, Fitzgerald. I've been patient with you, but now it's time to kick ass.
But he'll kill me.
Who will?
The man from Paris. Jack Marquet. Pegram told me if I gave him the package unopened, I'd hear no more about it. But if I double-crossed Marquet, I'd be dead.
I'll deal with Jacques Marquet. Give the package to me.
No. Why should I trust you? I don't know who to trust anymore. I wish I'd never even heard of the Lochmarn
Time to kick ass.
Get out of here, Maguire. Come back when you're old enough.
What's the lad howling about?
A big red sports car. Sean Fitzgerald's being run over.
Get out! Noisy little tyke.
Maybe you should send out some medicinal brandy maker.
Oh, yes. And who's going to pay for it?
Not me.
Me too, neither.
Så er han ikke 25. Nej, det er han nok ikke.
I was telling the truth about Fitzy, mister.
Okay, calm down. Now tell me what happened.
I was standing here, minding my own business, when I saw this beautiful red sports car coming up over the hill. Would you look at that, says I. And I going over to take a closer look. Next thing, Fitzy comes tearing out of the pub and nearly knocks me on my ass. But the car just flies at him. It was too fast for poor old Fitzy, and hit him an awful wallop. He goes flying up on top. Jesus, says I thought he was a goner. Next thing, the driver hops out, and I couldn't believe my eyes. He was dressed like a bloody pixie.
He was dressed like a bloody pixie.
Hey, Maguire.
What?
Jesus, says I.
Did this pixie have a scar on his cheek?
I couldn't see. He was wearing a stupid mask. Are you a special agent?
Sorry to disappoint you, kid, but I'm not. Did Fitzgerald drop anything when he was hit?
I didn't see. It all happened so fast.
Maybe the package fell somewhere out of sight. See you later, kid.
Jeg tror, der blev tabt noget i
mister.
resten. Jamen, så må vi jo kigge efter det. Hej, Retro.
I tugged at the trapdoor, but it was locked from the inside.
Hvis der er noget, der er tabt ned i resten, så kan vi jo nok ikke komme... så kan vi nok ikke komme derind.
I pushed the switch down, but in doing so it snapped off in my hand. It was impossible to return the switch to its original position. Excuse me.
Yes, sir?
May I have another beer, please?
Certainly, sir. Same again?
Yeah, please. How is this stuff made?
That's the secret of the master brewer, sir. Each barrel is lovingly manhandled in time-honored fashion, suspended on skillfully tied ropes of the finest hemp, lowered into the cellar, utilizing the forces of original gravity, like manna from heaven. I'm sorry, but the pump appears to be broken.
I can fix it for you.
I don't think so. This is a job for a professional electrician. Oh well, at least the glass washer is still working. It's not my dear, is it?
Har du fået gennemført Tears of the Kingdom 100%, Lasse?
It just so happens I'm an electrician. Check out my credentials.
Well, no. Isn't that marvelous? Here's a house bedeviled with faulty wiring of a wayward nature. Here's you, an electric man, with a little plastic card to prove it. I still want to see what you can do before I let you touch me beer pumps. You can make a start on the glass washer. And when you finish that, will you take a look at the pumps?
Jeg har ikke fået gennemført noget af historien endnu.
I used all my knowledge of electrical engineering to examine the plug. I couldn't see anything obviously wrong with the machine. I figured it must be the wiring.
Vi skal lige ud for... Nå, hvad har vi på os her? Ja, ja.
As soon as the old guy looked away, I grabbed this piece of wire.
Du får også spillet en masse Animal Crossing. Ja, jeg får spillet en masse Animal Crossing. Det der er en masse ting, jeg skal i det spil. Og jeg har i øjeblikket... Skal vi finde det her? Jeg har 78 ud af 80 bucks. Jeg mangler faktisk stadigvæk en god del musik, men møbler der. Okay, kun 222 ud af 6.435 møbler. Jeg er i hvert fald i fuld gang med at unlock alt til spillet.
I replaced the fuse with a piece of wire. I knew it was dangerous, but I was desperate enough to disregard everything I knew about standard safety precautions.
Excuse me, Mr. Leary. I fixed your glass washer, no problem.
Bingo! And a blessing to all the saints. A free half pint to that man on the house. Now, could you take a look at the beer pumps?
Well, I guess so, but I'm not making any promises.
If you can't fix them, I'll have a riot on me hands.
The pumps are in the cellar, right?
That's right. You'll find a flashlight down there somewhere.
Jamen, så lad os da gå i kælderen.
I pushed the lever and heard the grating of metal, but nothing appeared to happen.
Nej tak, Lasse. Jeg prøver selv.
I lifted the trap door, and an overpowering smell of stale beer rose from the cellar below. I looked down on a stone-tiled floor, way too far to jump.
Excuse me.
There was a nasty feeling in my guts I usually associated with light opera. It was Khan. What's the problem?
Did you see what happened here a few minutes ago?
What was that?
A man was involved in an unfortunate accident.
I didn't see anything.
What about the boy?
He doesn't know anything either. The kid, well, you know how it is in these rural communities. Not enough genes to go round. I prayed McGuire had the sense to keep his mouth shut. Was the guy hurt bad?
He's been taken care of, but he thinks he dropped a small parcel. You didn't happen to find it, did you?
If I had, I would have taken it to the police.
Of course. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you. That is how real people talk. There is nothing suspicious about me, no.
Now I could see. I spotted Mr. Leary's flashlight easily. Then I noticed a flash of light. Something sparkling beneath the open trapdoor. It was Peagram's gem, all right. A large, uncut blue stone.
See?
I guess I was already under its spell.
Did you find it?
What?
Whatever you was looking for.
Yeah. Listen, McGuire. I want you to keep this to yourself.
No problemo. Just chuck us up a crate of lager.
No way. You're not old enough.
We can sell it and make some cash.
Forget it, kid. I couldn't betray Mr. Leary's trust.
Vi ses, Sona.
For sure. That old misery guts deserves it.
If you want to do me a favor, keep a lookout for that guy in the suit.
Okay. But it'll cost you a packet of chips.
Oh, and shout if you see that Ferrari.
The faucet creaked, coughed, and spewed out a stream of rusty-colored water. I shut off the faucet as tight as I could, but it kept on dripping.
Nå, lad os så se, hvad så næste jeg skal.
Hi, it's me again.
So I see. What now?
Did you happen to see a red sports car down on the road?
I caught a glimpse of a flash of
Og
red.
ja, Humle, jeg havde set dem.
Sure,
Jeg har jo
it was an
spillet
awful
spillet før,
noise.
så...
A sports car, you say?
A Ferrari, to be exact.
A racing car? And what was it doing here? The poor fella must have been lost.
The driver of the Ferrari was involved in an accident.
Is that so?
Yeah, he knocked somebody down outside the bar.
What an idiot! How could a thing like that happen?
He was traveling too fast.
So fast, he ran right under the car?
I mean, the car was traveling too fast.
But you'd have thought the idiot could have heard it coming.
Maybe you know the guy who was hit by the Ferrari. His name is Sean Fitzgerald.
Oh, I know him all right. That's me nephew, the idiot responsible for the stacking of my hay cart. Was he killed by the car?
Oh, no, but he has been abducted.
Well, that's a relief now.
Aren't you going to look for your nephew?
What for? From what you say, it's too late.
Well, you could report the matter to the police.
Better not. Besides, what could they do?
Well, they could mount a search.
They have only the one bicycle between them. In a question of superior acceleration, I put me money on the Ferrari.
2 sekunder, Humle. Er det godt nok? Jeg har det desværre ikke til en Nintendo-maskine, så det bliver nok ikke lige her, jeg kommer til at spille det så. ja.
I think you ought to know exactly what Sean has gotten himself into.
I'm not sure I want to know.
But you're his uncle, his own flesh and blood.
You're right, but what can I do? If I'm not here to guard it, some idiot might try to climb the haystack. What a moral dilemma. Stay here and guard this potentially lethal agricultural construction, or to go off in search of the prodigal nephew, the very man responsible for said hazard? It'll need some thinking about.
Why, there's no problem.
You're right. Why didn't I think of it before? We'll demolish the haystack.
We will demolish the haystack. Har han Olle rødt hår? Har han ikke rødt hår? Jo, han har rødt hår der, og billedet der har han brunt hår. Hvordan bliver en computer fuld? Den tager screenshots.
You don't have to demolish the haystack to go look for Sean. I'll stay here in your place and warn anyone who's silly enough to climb it.
Marvelous! I think I should start me inquiries in the bar.
Så.
He strode off in the direction of McDevitt's bar, leaving me to contemplate the stack of hay.
Nu kommer den første historie, som jeg kan huske fra dengang jeg spillede spillet første gang. Jeg brugte timer, dage. Jeg tror jeg brugte en uge på det her sted her. Fordi min storebror sagde, at jeg skulle lede efter nålen. En høstak, så jeg skulle lede efter nålen i høstakken. Kan du ikke give ham et klap på skulderen med din sabber, som lykønskning for at finde en løsning på det uløselige problem? Kan jeg desværre ikke, han er gået. Så det kan jeg ikke. Men jeg kan klatre på den.
The stack of hay stopped, short of the top of the wall. Even if I stretched as far as I could, the wall was out of reach. What I needed was a slice or two of Alice's Wonderland.
Den forstår jeg ikke. A slice or two of Alice's Wonderland. Er der nogen, der gider forklare, hvad der kan menes der?
I inserted the end of the lifting key in the mortarless crack and gave it a firm shove. It remained lodged in the wall, jutting out to form a step. I tugged at the lifting key and found it was held quite securely.
Banke, banke på. Hvem der? And. Banke, banke på. Hvem der? And hvem? And his name is John Cena! Okay. Det vi kommer til her, det er nok det mest forrygtede spil i hele Broken Sword 1. Fordi lige meget i hvilken retning man går, okay, så gjorde jeg det nemt den her gang.
The rope by which the goat was
de har ændret posten for at gøre det nemmere.
Plowshare.
Meningen var, at man skulle gøre det hurtigt. De har bare gjort det nemmere i den her version af spillet. Ja, okay. Fordi alle de sad fast. Der var decideret sådan spilmagasiner, som der kom ud med, hvordan kommer du forbi gaden i... I was fired from the keyboard factory. I wasn't putting in enough shifts. Nå, det jeg prøvede at sige.
As I dipped my fingers into the soft white powder, I realized
Spilmagasinet lavede artikler om, hvordan man kom forbi gaden.
I'd used it in kindergarten to make casts of animal paw prints.
Banke, banke på. Hvem der? Daisy? Daisy hvem? Daisy me rollin'. They Hayden. Banke, banke på. Hvem der? Daisy? Daisy hvem? Daisy me rollin'. They Hayden. Ja, og jeg læste den op 2 gange.
The statue was too heavy to lift. It overbalanced into the sand. As I swung the stone upright, I noticed it had left a pattern of holes in the sand.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Boo. Boo-hoo. Banke, banke på. Hvem der? Vivi. Vivi hvem? We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas.
I sprinkled the plaster on the sand until the holes were filled.
Banke, banke på. Hvem der? Anna. Anna hvem? Anna Happy New Year. I er alle sammen bandet. Controls her.
The slow drip of water. The faucet. I held the towel under the faucet and soaked it with water.
Prøv at sætte. Banke, banke på. Hvem der? Jens hvem? Det ved jeg sgu da ikke. Jeg kender ikke nogen Jens, og jeg er dårlig nok til at lave jokes.
The trickle of water was quickly absorbed by the plaster. I eased the solid piece of plaster from the sand.
Gangsta dog!
It had formed a perfect copy of the statue. The hardened plaster cast fitted snugly into the 5 matching sockets. There was a soft thud. Then, silence.
Banke, banke på. Hvem der? Hvem der for helvede? Så brug dog ringeklokken. Tænder wifi-ringeklokken for at se, hvem det er. Det er bare Teddy. Teddy, gå nu hjem. Nå. Hvem kan vi ringe til?
There wasn't anyone that I needed to call. I had messages waiting to be played.
You have 3 messages.
Hey, Collard, it's me, your favorite editor. Guess what? I'm gonna give you a second chance. I need somebody to write the TV
Please
column.
pass this.
Pays lousy, so what's new? If you're interested, drop by the office.
Please pass
In fact,
the pie.
Drop by the office anyway. We have to talk, Nico. That story of yours I spiked. It won't go away. You've made some dangerous enemies out there.
Hey, Nico, it's your old pal. I mean, your new pal, George. Whoa, Ireland. It's a whole different country. And I got some amazing news for you. Gem of a story, in fact. Oh, gotta go. Yeah, fella here's got a drink lined up for me. See you tomorrow, Nico. Slàinte. Yep, only here for a day and I'm speaking the lingo like a local.
Mademoiselle Coulard, this is Imelda Carchon. I wanted to thank you for being so understanding when... Come to lunch, why don't you? Tomorrow. I might have more news. There's a Monsieur Merlon coming to see me this evening.
Aye.
He says he knows why Pierre was murdered. In fact, he'll be here shortly. I shall let you know what he says. Goodbye, dear girl. Till tomorrow.
Merlin? My God. Merlin's the killer. I better get over there and mourn her now. When it came to being two-faced, Imelda was up there with the best. I owed her nothing, but I couldn't just let her die. I arrived to find the Palais Royal courtyard deserted. I only hoped that I'd beaten the assassin here. I had to warn Imelda before it was too late.
Hvorfor bruger elefanter ikke elektriske tandbørster? Fordi de har stødtænder. Humle, din besked vil jeg ikke læse op, fordi det er en tungevrider, og vi har... Ja, vi har channel points til lige præcis det. Er den ikke aktiv?
Locked? No way was I going to break through a door like that.
Ah. Og er det rigtigt? Det virkede ikke. Der var et eller andet fuldstændig galt med channel points hos mig. Det var meningen, at jeg skulle kigge på det sammen med Zone. Det blev aldrig til noget. Nå, jamen, så siger den bare. She sells seashells by the seashore. The seashells she sells are seashell... Hvad betyder seashells? I'm sure. But if she sells... Emma en stavefejl. She sells seashells by the seashore. The seashells she sells are seashells, I'm sure. So if she sells seashells by the seashore, then I'm sure she sells seashores. She sells seashores. Jeg prøver en gang til. She sells seashells by the seashore. The seashells she sells... She sells seashells by the seashore. The seashells she sells are seashells, I'm sure. So if she sells seashells by the seashore, then I'm sure she sells seashore shells. Gjorde det godt nok?
Locked? No way was I going to break through a door like that. The intercom system wasn't working. Bad sign. Somebody had cut the wire.
Så kravler vi sgu derop. Det er da heldigt, at de har en statue, der ligner en stige.
Fixed tight. Presumably to stop critics stealing it. Who else would want to? Fixed tight. That broken window looked like the best way in.
Why did the farmer cut down the Wi-Fi? Because the cows kept downloading music.
That broke. I unhooked the first wire.
Jeg kan mærke en puzzle. En puzzle, som der bruger motion
I
controls.
released the second wire. Even with both wires removed, the statue remained upright.
Så mange tak for den.
If I could deconstruct this, I could deconstruct anything. The plastic sheet was thick and strong. I'd need more than my hands to tear it.
Okay. Hvad har vi? Den der?
No.
No. Pas nu på hånden. Okay, det store spørgsmål. Er hun død? Eller er hun ikke død?
My God, I'm too late.
Siger hun og går stille og roligt hen til.
Imelda. Oh no.
Nico?
Don't worry, you're going to be all right.
You know that isn't true.
It was Merlin, wasn't it?
Dressed as a cavalier. Absurd. You came to warn me, didn't you?
I must be crazy.
Let me see you, Nico.
All this time you were just using me. Which one is the real Imelda?
You are an extraordinary girl. Thierry would have been so proud of you.
You didn't know my father.
So like him. Something about the eyes. I wish we'd had time to get to know each other.
She was gone. She cheated me, lied to me, used me. But why? Even in death, Imelda looked the same. Beautiful, inscrutable. The Ice Queen alone in her ice palace. I opened it. Inside was a tiny gold key.
Så de fjernede blodet fra nogle scener, men der er blod lige der.
I took the key. I had to leave. I knew I could never return.
Jeg ved godt, hvad den nøgle er til.
In the dim light, I caught the reflection of something metallic. A small, sinister-looking metal disc had been tucked under my father's box. It was a bug. You don't scare me. Asbestos.
Hvis der er en bug, så er det nok ikke den eneste. Nico, der er flere.
The box was carved by my father. It never had a key. The elephant on the lid was a perfect match to Cochon's. I took out the key. I couldn't believe it. Imelda's key opened my father's box. I dreaded what I was going to find inside.
Og jeg siger bare, hvis det var mig, så havde jeg brugt vold for lang tid siden til at åbne sådan en kasse der.
It was a photograph of Imelda. But why here? In my father's box? I felt as if a black hole had swallowed me up.
Sledgehammer.
Imelda and Carchon grinning. While behind them a village was being razed to the ground. Its people butchered. And there, next to them, staring out at me across the years, my own father. There was a letter. I feared there was even worse to come.
List up. Dear Nico.
Hotel St. George, Algiers, Friday. My darling Thierry, by the time you read this, you'll be safely out of Africa. You need not fear. Pierre and the organization do not know who you are really working for, or about us. Did you think I would betray you? I could not. You wanted me to leave him, but I don't have your courage. I know too much of what has been going on here. They would find me and they would kill us both. Enjoy your life in Paris, Thierry. Your life of honor, of patriotic duty. Do they give medals to spies? No, they'll just give you a phony job in an embassy somewhere. I could never share that with you. Imagine me, a diplomat's wife. So I must stay here with Pierre, the two of us bound together by what we have done to this country. Au revoir, my love. You will be in my heart until I die. Imelda. Suddenly everything made sense. My father had been working undercover for the government. He was one of the good guys after all. He and Imelda must have fallen in love. She'd found out who he really was, so he had to leave. It had broken her heart, but she had never revealed it to anyone. I knew I couldn't either. Whatever he was doing, he'd had good reason to keep it secret. I decided I would respect that and tell nobody.
The next morning.
I knew it was George. For a moment I was tempted to pretend that I was out, or ask him to go away and come back later. But then... Come in.
Hello, George. So, where did you stay last night?
At McDevitt's. I got to drinking with Doyle and a couple of the guys.
That explains why you look so ill today. Did you get any sleep at all?
Not much. I had to share the room with another guy.
Did he snore?
Hardly. He was dead. Then Leary woke me in the middle of the night to help bail out the cellar.
The cellar was flooded?
Yeah, some idiot had left the faucet running.
And you say Pigram has disappeared?
Without a trace. But my visit wasn't a complete waste of time.
Pigram's gem?
The Templars' gem. Whoever Jacques Marquet is, he's in for a disappointment.
Jacques Marquet?
He's the guy who should have collected the gem from Fitzgerald.
What are your plans?
I want to find out who, what, or where Montfaucon was. All I've got to go by is the name and a picture of a hanged man.
Godt. Why is beef stew not a secure password? Because it's not strong enough. Nu skal jeg forklare joken til dig, Teddy. Man kan få noget, der hedder bøf stroganoff, eller bøf stroganoff. Man skal bruge 600 gram skært oksekød, skåret i strimler og 5 skiver bacon, 250 gram champignon, skåret i kvarte, 4 løg, finhakket 2 spiseske koncentreret tomatpuré, 3 laurbærblade, 3 dl kalvebouillon, 2 dl piskefløde, 3 spiseske sød paprika, 2 spiseske hvedemel, 2 spiseske smør, 2 spiseske olivenolie, salt, Og hvad så? Rockfall, der er mere til den. Man skal ikke bare blande tingene, så er man færdig, vel? Hvad sagde sushien til bien? Wasabi? Eller wasabi? Nej, så havde det stadig HW eller HVA mellemrum SO mellemrum B. Wasabi. Og det er jo ikke det, du skrev. Du skrev wasabi. Så er du linket til bøf stroganoff. Hvor de endda har skrevet Valdemars Kro forkert. Dammit, Teddy. Street sushi. Wasabi.
Do you want to look after the gem?
No, Josh. I'd be too tempted to sell it.
Du skal ikke sælge den. Ret rød.
Do you want this photograph back?
No, you keep it. I can always make another print.
Let's take another look at the manuscript.
Let's take another look at the manuscript.
There's a guy with a... Between them...
Vi har allerede set alt herinde. Jamen,
What are your plans?
I want to find out who, what, or where Montfaucon was. All I've got to go by is the name and a picture of a hanged man. I can't sit here all day, much as I'd like to.
Okay. Don't forget to look for Lobino at the Kron Museum. And why don't you see if Rosso has heard anything?
Okay. Anything else I can do for you while I'm out? Shopping, a trip to the laundromat?
Just take care of yourself.
Just take care of yourself. Jamen, så fik vi en quest der. Vi skal lede efter Montfaucon.
I so much wanted to talk to George about everything that had happened, but I knew I never could. My father's connection to Africa would have to remain a secret forever. His bravery would be known only to the government and to me. Revealing it would just damage his memory. People would take the story and twist it. Before long, he would be the villain and Carchon would be the hero. I know how they do that. I'm a journalist.
Okay, så hvis vi starter med museet. Så skal vi se, om Lobino er på besøg.
Pardon me?
Oui, monsieur?
Oui, monsieur? Han er ikke...
Thanks for your help.
Jamen, så tager vi en tur til... Hvad kan vi egentlig gøre her? Okay, vi har ikke nogen sted, vi kan tage den. Lad os tage til... Ja. Lad os snakke med Rosso.
Sergeant Moo?
Yes.
I'd like to report an assault.
Yes, monsieur? Where is the victim?
I'm the victim. I've been harassed by a pair of thugs.
I see. And where did this alleged assault take place?
Outside the Hotel Ubu. They stopped me as I was leaving and went through my pockets.
Could you describe the suspects, monsieur?
One looked like a gorilla, and the other looked like a weasel. Their names are Flap and Guido.
Bon. I'll get them this time.
Have you heard of a man called Marquet?
Yes. He used to be known as the Mole of Montmartre. I heard he's been hospitalized, probably by one of his rivals.
Which hospital was Marquet taken to?
The Hagenmeyer Clinic, in the Avenue des Hérissons.
No.
Why was Marquet known as the Mole of Montmartre?
Because he lived in Montmartre, I suppose.
Yeah, but why the mole?
I don't know. Maybe he ruined people's lawns.
I was one of the last people to see the victim alive, Sergeant.
Does that worry you?
Yes, it does. I feel I owe it to him to find his killer.
That is best left to the authorities, monsieur.
Did he speak to you? Tell you anything?
No, he just grinned and nodded.
Don't let it trouble you, monsieur. Go home and try to forget.
I know the identity of the dead guy. His name was Plantow.
Is that so? You knew him, did you?
No, but...
We'll know everything there is to know about him soon enough.
I'm trying to be helpful here.
The best way you can help us is to go home, monsieur.
See you later, Sergeant.
Jamen, vi fik lige at vide, at der var en på Hospital, som the mole of something. Så lad os tage ind og besøge ham, se hvad han ved.
I felt a little guilty as I tried the door, like I was about to rob a grave. I gripped the handle with an involuntary tremble in my hand and pulled. The door was locked.
Dramatisk måde at sige det på alligevel. Pænt hospital.
Hi, my name's George Stobart.
Really? If you wish to make an appointment, see the receptionist.
Hvad kalder man indisk elektriker? Lad os da prøve at finde ud af, hvad man kalder en indisk elektriker. Translate. Og fra dansk til ind. Det må være hindi. Og så elektriker. Vidya Tantra. Tantra. Vidya Tantra. Jeg håber det hjalp. Sig det med en indisk accent. Det prøvede jeg.
I'm looking for a guy named Jacques Marquet.
In which department does he work?
He doesn't. He's a patient.
I see. You do realize there are strict policies regarding visiting hours, don't you?
This is important. I have to talk to Marquet urgently.
We make no exceptions to the rules.
It's a matter of life and death.
The well-oiled running of this hospital is a matter of life and death.
True.
That's why we have rules.
Og chok skal nok siges med indisk accent.
I think I ought to warn you that Marquet is not what he seems.
Explain yourself.
He's in league with a bunch of guys who want to take over the world.
Nonsense.
Nonsense.
Besides, Marquet's employers have paid in advance for one of our most exclusive private rooms.
Could you tell me who Marquet's employers are?
Certainly not.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, sir, I do not.
Thanks for your help.
Så må vi snakke med receptionisten.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir?
Is this the Hagenmeyer clinic?
Yes, sir.
That's correct.
Og ja,
I thought
det
I was in
mest
a garden center.
amerikanske.
Oh, the plants. They were my idea. A little greenery to evoke the spirit of nature. How may I help you?
Den mest amerikanske receptionist til et fransk hospital.
I'm here to see Jacques Marquet.
Oh, yes. Are you related to our client, sir?
No, I'm conducting a private investigation.
Then I can't help you.
So, do I get to see Marquet before the funeral?
That attitude will get you nowhere. My instructions were quite clear. No one gets to see Marquet. So unless you can prove you're a relative or a close acquaintance, you're wasting your time here.
Has Marquet been visited by a man in a clown costume?
Oh, no.
You haven't seen a man in disguise?
Well, there's Theodore the Bear. He comes every Thursday to entertain the children. Personally, I think he scares them half to death in that crummy old bear suit. If I was stuck on my back with tubes in every orifice, he's the last person I'd want to see.
Se, det største problem, jeg har med George, det er, at han leder stadig efter en person i en klovnekostyme. Men det er allerede blevet bevist, at han bruger kostymet én gang, og så er det slut. Fordi han har selv fået at vide, at han har klædt sig ud som en pixie. Og der var også et andet ting, som han også havde set. Plus han har hørt fra Nico, han har brugt 2 andre kostymer tidligere. Nico har ikke fortalt noget om mimekostymet. Det kostume, som han brugte til at slå hende der ihjel. Så hvorfor er han stadigvæk leder efter en i klovnekostyme? Jeg forstår det ikke.
Has Marquet had a visit from a pair of gangsters?
I should hope not. Can you describe them?
A thin guy who looks like a weasel and his friend, the gorilla.
Sounds as if they escaped from a zoo.
Have you seen this man here at the clinic?
No, sir. And I never forget a face.
Thanks for your help, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Ja. Several minutes later. No. Ja, okay. Okay. Jeg skal have en eller anden form for bevis, for at jeg kender ham der.
Excuse me.
Marquet.
Yes, sir?
Have you heard of the Club Alamet?
No. It sounds romantic, doesn't it?
Look at this ID pass.
So you're Merlin. Marquet's been asking for you.
For me?
Yes. He was shouting your name when they brought him in here. Now, let me see. He was on Ward B12, as I recall. Oh, he's being transferred to... Oh, dear. He's on Ward J2. That's Nurse Grendel's ward.
What's so bad about Nurse Grendel?
She runs that ward like a South American prison.
Keeping a well-disciplined ward isn't a crime, is it?
Well-disciplined. In the discipline and punishment stakes, she'd whip the butt off the Marquis de Sade. Everything, I mean everything, is done to a strict routine. 6 o'clock alarm call, 6:10 bowel movements, and woe betide anyone who doesn't have a result. Those patients of hers are like Pavlova's dogs.
She sounds like a real nightmare.
And then some.
Der er meget forskel på scenerne og de billeder, der bliver vist. Hvad har du et eksempel?
If Nurse Grendel is that bad, how come the authorities tolerate her?
She's like part of the furniture.
I was beginning to get the picture. This woman was jealous, with a big green capital J. How do I find Nurse Grendel's ward?
Down the corridor on the left, turn right at the senior consultant's washroom. Right again at the executive coffee lounge. Fair left past the administrator's sauna.
Oh, yeah.
And turn left at the end. That's J2. And good luck.
Ja,
Thanks
så
for
var der
your
ham
help,
før.
You're welcome.
Og jeg er sikker på, at hvis vi lige snakker med ham her, så har han også et eller andet. Vi snakker lige med ham igen.
Excuse me, sir.
Det er svært at se, om han faktisk har briller. Hans skæg går opad her. Og her, der går hans skæg nedad. Det er små ting.
Thanks for your help.
Han ligner lidt en løve. Why did the boy George get banned from the reptile enclosure? Because he calmed on a chameleon.
As I turned the corner, I saw the source of the hellish noise which echoed through the corridors. It was an industrial polishing machine with an odd-looking guy in tow.
Hello.
What's that?
I said hello.
Oh, hiya.
I'd like to talk to you for a minute.
That's what I thought you said. Don't look so down in the mouth. No matter how bad things seem, I never let life get on top of me.
Oh, yeah? What's your secret?
Why, it's easy. All you have to do is smile and whistle this little tune.
You know what? If you start whistling, I'll bust you in the teeth.
It's a deal.
Would you like to shake my hand?
Not until I've washed, if you don't mind, sir.
Have you seen any unsavory characters lurking about in the quarters?
No, sir, I haven't. But I've got nothing to worry about. What's that, Mr. Shiny? You'd take good care of the rascals, I'll bet you would. With a friend like him, I've no fear of oppressors.
It must be a great comfort.
He is.
George mangler hjælp. If you start whistling, I'll bust in your teeth.
Would Mr. Shiny be your polishing machine by any chance?
Please, don't call him that. He's more of a friend than a machine. I've had Mr. Shiny for 3 years, and he's never let me down once.
Han virkelig et par sandwiches short of a picnic.
How come you got so attached to a polishing machine?
I asked you not to call him that. He's got a name, you know.
Yeah, Mr. Shiny. It's just that...
You think it's odd, don't you? I don't mind. The rest of the staff think I'm twisted. I heard them snorking behind me back when I gave Mr. Shiny his weekly pull-through.
Do you know where I'd find a patient called Marquet?
No, I'm not allowed on the wards with Mr. Shiny.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
Who is it?
That's what I'm asking you. Have you seen him before?
How should I know? You haven't told me who he is.
Take a look at the photo.
Yeah, okay.
Now, have you seen him before?
No.
See you later.
Yeah, take care now.
Se, hvis der var en, der sagde til mig, at det her, det er Mr. Shiny og alt sådan noget
The
der.
connector in the socket supplied electricity to the polishing
Humor
machine.
him.
The connector in the...
Hey now, you can't go in there.
How come?
I'm responsible for the contents of that cupboard.
Oui, monsieur.
Is this Ward J2?
It is, but you're not supposed to be here. We have strict rules about visiting hours.
Can't you make an exception? I've come all the way from California.
You must speak to the doctor.
I can't wait that long. What if he snuffs it?
You can't talk like that here. This is a hospital. You will have to leave.
Det der sted bliver rigtig rent. Det er det reneste sted på hele hospitalet.
As I tugged the plug out of the socket, the polishing machine coughed, spluttered, and died.
Mr. Shiny, what's wrong, pal?
No. 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 Slog du lige Mr. Shiny ihjel? Yep. Nu er jeg en doktor. Så let er der at få en doktorgrad.
Good afternoon, doctor. The patients are ready for your inspection, doctor.
Thank you, nurse.
You'll need this, doctor.
She gave me a long, narrow metal box and a stunning smile. Thanks.
Det er nogle fede animationer, der er i det spil, men hvornår er det egentlig fra?
His name is Eric.
Mener det er fra 94.
What is this device?
It's for taking the patient's blood pressure, doctor.
Do you have a patient named Marquet on this ward?
Oui, monsieur. He is in the private room at the end of the ward. He has been placed in strict isolation.
Thank you, nurse.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Doctor!
What is it?
You haven't taken my blood pressure.
Seems fine to me.
You're not doing it right.
Of course I am.
No, you're not. Dr. Monroe never did it like that.
I can't take a satisfactory reading while you're excited like this. I'll come back later. Hello? Anybody home?
Who are you?
My name is Dr. Stobart, and I'm here to steer you down the rocky road to recovery.
Dr. Monroe said there was no cure for what I've got.
Your problem is you stayed in bed too long.
Are you sure you're a qualified doctor?
You better believe it. What can you tell me about Marquet?
He's the man in the private room, isn't he? That room was mine before I was tossed out like a common squatter.
Do you know what's wrong with Marquet?
They won't even say what's wrong with me. Tell me, Doctor, what's your opinion?
It's too early to say.
But I've been here for 3 months.
Dr. Monroe told me what I had couldn't be cured. Okay, selvfølgelig. De har lige sagt, at de vil ikke fortælle om, hvad der er galt. Men det eneste er, at han kan ikke blive helbredt.
I'll come back later.
Jeg ved om... Nej, det kan jeg ikke.
Hi, me again. I'm going to take your blood pressure.
Why?
I'm a doctor. It's my job. Seems fine to me.
You're not doing it right.
I'll come back later.
Det er sgu stadig en sær måde at drive et hospital på. Altså, det er et privat hospital. Det er sikkert. Prøv lige at se, hvor pænt det er. Men på et privat hospital på den her størrelse her, der plejer personalet at kende hinanden.
Pardon me, nurse.
Oui, monsieur?
Why is Marquet in quarantine?
If you wish to know more, you'll have to speak to Herr Hagenmeier. All I know is that Marquet's room is strictly out of bounds.
Do you know who paid for Marquet's room?
No, of course I don't.
Preferential treatment like that must cost an arm and a leg.
That's not my concern, monsieur.
Do you have any clowns on the ward?
Why, yes, we do. A professional clown.
I'll bet he lightens the place up.
Hardly. Monsieur Boissy has been in a coma for the last 3 months.
What's wrong with Boissy?
He was involved in a very nasty accident. A silly stunt involving a unicycle. His current condition is due to post-traumatic shock. It's unlikely he'll ever perform as a clown again.
It's an ill wind that blows nobody any good. Thank you, nurse.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Og jeg tror, jeg bliver nødt til at snakke med ham her om Nurse
Hi, me again.
Grendel, eller hvad det er, hun hedder.
What's your impression of Nurse Grendel?
She's a very efficient young woman.
Efficient? You make her sound like a vacuum cleaner.
I've no complaints.
The woman in reception described Nurse Grendel as a monster.
Well, that's simply not true. She's quite strict, but that's her job, isn't it? You've got to have discipline in a place like this.
No. I'm going to take your blood pressure.
Why?
I'm a doctor. It's my job. Seems fine to me.
You're not doing it right.
I'll come back later.
Jeg tror, jeg bliver nødt til at tage et hint. To examine something, move your pointer over it if it can be examined. Then I press the B button.
This guy didn't look sick to me. He didn't have spots or stitches, and he certainly didn't have a fever. This guy didn't look sick. He didn't have spots.
Kan jeg så snakke om hende? Nej, du skal ikke den vej, George. Jeg kan godt lide, at du overhovedet prøvede at give ham en choksterapi.
Do you know Merlin of Gruber Elect?
No.
Vel forkert.
Do you want this,
Device for measuring blood pressure?
Yeah, do you want it back?
No, thank you.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, I don't.
Thank you, nurse.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Kan jeg gå ud?
Oh, doctor.
What now?
You didn't finish taking my blood pressure.
Okay, let's try again.
You don't have the first idea what you're doing, do you?
I'll come back when you've recovered your manners.
You haven't fit.
Okay, der er et eller andet, jeg misser.
Will you keep...
I'll keep quiet when you've taken my blood pressure properly.
I have to see Jacques Marquet first.
How come he gets preferential treatment?
Måske skulle jeg også bare blive med at gøre det
It's
samme.
because he's got money, isn't it?
I'll come back when you've dealt with that chip on your shoulder.
Head back to the hospital entrance. Okay. Så gør vi det.
Excuse me, sir.
Aha!
Just the man.
You must be the new boy.
Yeah, I must be.
Jeg er ikke medicinsk uddannet, men selv jeg ved, hvordan man bruger en blodtryksmåler.
Bonnie, come here, boy.
Bonnie.
This is Benoit, my nephew. Can I trust you to look after him?
Yeah.
He is fresh out of medical school. It will open his eyes to see a real doctor on the job.
I'll bet.
Show him around. Let him see some real suffering.
Altså, jeg ved også godt, hvordan man bruger en blodtryksmåler, men jeg ved ikke, hvad man skal kigge efter.
I'll come back later.
Og det er nok lidt det, der er problemet her.
Hi, my name's George Stobart.
Yes, sir?
Yes, sir.
So what's your name, kid?
Benoit. They call me Bunny.
Bunny? Jeez, and you don't mind?
Læg mærke til, at han har røde briller på dernede, men han har grå briller på i billedet.
Anything you say, sir.
Here, take this pressure gauge.
Thank you, sir. What do you want me to do with it?
Well, keep it safe until I think of something. Do you know anything about a patient named Marquet?
No, sir, I don't know much about any of the patients.
I've never met a doctor who admits that he's only human.
I'm only a trainee, sir. I'm sure I'll get the hang of things.
Do you know the nurse on Ward J2?
No, monsieur. This is my first day here. I can't wait to get my hands dirty. I was talking about treating my first patient, of course. I didn't mean I'd get my hands dirty with a nurse.
Nobody applied
okay,
that.
Sir.
Faktisk, Muni, der er en grafisk fejl i den her version af spillet her. Hvis du lige giver mig et øjeblik. Det her, det er stadigvæk den nye version af spillet. Vi skal finde den gamle version af spillet. Den originale version. Det må være her. Nej, det er også... Yes, det her det er den rigtige version. Kan jeg få part 22? Yes. Sådan der har vi det. Så jeg går lige lidt tilbage, og så siger vi der. Og så trykker jeg på den der. Og jeg ved godt, der ikke er noget lyd. Men læg mærke til, hvordan... Det er den originale version af spillet fra... ja, på for eksempel en PlayStation og på PC. Læg mærke til, hvad der sker der. Og det er præcis den samme animation, som der sker i spillet her. Eneste forskel er bare, at skjorten går, eller blusen går ikke op. Så grafisk fejl i spillet.
Follow me, Benoit.
I'm right behind you, sir.
Hi, it's me again. I'll come back later.
Du skriver med ekstrem regelmæssighed. Hvad mener du med det?
You haven't finished taking my blood pressure.
Will you keep quiet? You're disturbing the other patients.
I'll keep quiet when you've taken my blood pressure properly.
I have to see Jacques Marquet first.
How come he gets preferential treatment? It's because...
I'll come back when...
Kan jeg snakke med ham? Med
Hey,
Bunny?
Benoit!
Yes, sir?
Do you still have that gauge I gave you?
Oh, yes. What do you want me to do with it?
Use it on Eric Sopmarsh.
Okay.
Kan jeg komme videre nu? Men Muni, hvad mener du med, du skriver med ekstrem regelmæssighed?
I'm Dr. Stobart.
Bonjour, docteur.
Have you heard of a guy called Marquet?
He's in quarantine, doc. Right behind this here door.
Marquet is just the man I wanted to see.
I wouldn't go in there if I was you. He has anthrax.
Anthrax?
I have to visit my patient.
What for?
Routine. I have to check he's still breathing.
What if he's not?
I'll sign the certificate and register his bed as vacant.
That's a cold and distant attitude to death.
Well, I've been institutionalized to the point of godlike aloofness.
The white coat suits you.
Thanks.
Lad os prøve at putte det an på en test. Ikke at det er det skal handle om, men nu prøver vi. Så hvis jeg gør sådan her. Jeg ved ikke om det her det er måden at man kan teste det på. Men jeg trykker her. Og jeg prøver at læse og skrive samtidig. Tænke lidt. Det. Lad os fortsætte her.
Suspicious characters on the ward?
Yeah, I have.
A gorilla and a weasel?
No. This was a tatty old bear.
How is the bear acting suspiciously?
Well, he was wearing a humbug.
Is that against the law?
No, but it's pretty weird for a bear.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, I have never seen him before.
Du skal lige have noget røg. Get to the chopper.
Catch you later, officer.
Au revoir, doc.
Han går ind i døren. Prøv lige at se, han er gået ind i døren. Skal lige ud af døren igen.
Marquet?
Yes, I am Marquet. I've been expecting you.
You have?
Well, what are you waiting for? Get it over with.
I just want to know what I should do with the gem.
The Lahmar gem?
Yeah, right here in my pocket.
I thought you were one of the Assassin.
Assassin, det er
I never
Assassins.
inhaled.
Det er de assassins, der er med i Assassin's Creed. Det er dem, man spiller.
Yeah. You could hardly make the trip to Ireland in your condition. What should I do with the gem?
Deliver it to the Grandmaster quickly. Tell him that I have found the tripod right here in Paris.
You have it?
Not yet, but it's being taken care of. I hired a couple of stooges with a flair for petty crime.
Would that be Flap and Guido by any chance?
You know them as for Klausner. He has gone off to Syria on a wild goose chase.
They have geese in Syria?
George!
Has a theory about the location of the...
That's enough excitement for one day, Monsieur Marquet. What are you doing here?
Talking to this patient, of course.
Monsieur Marquet is my patient. If Herr Hagenmeyer was to hear that...
Okay, I'm going. I'd learned all I could from Marquet anyhow.
Ah, there you are, sir. I was just coming to look for you. I finished with your pressure gauge.
Thanks, Bunny.
What's that noise? It sounds as if someone's having a cardiac arrest.
It's all right. The doctor's in there with him.
Are you sure he was a doctor?
Oui, monsieur. He showed me his ID. It was Dr. Braille.
There's no Dr. Braille working here.
He's an imposter.
Hvordan ved du det de første dag på arbejdet? Du har lige sagt, du ikke kender nogen.
Help me, officer.
Stand back, monsieur.
Han spurgte Bunny, om han kendte noget til Ward Grendel. Og han sagde, I don't know anybody here.
Hello, George.
I found Jacques Marquet.
Did he talk?
Yeah, he talked. For the very last time.
He's dead.
Yeah. Killed in cold blood by a bogus doctor.
That's despicable. What kind of guy would pass himself off as a doctor and take advantage of a dying man? Was it Khan?
No, I don't know who he was, but it certainly wasn't Khan. He got away, out the window. Have you ever heard of the Hashi-Ashin?
No.
Marquet said that they were his biggest enemy.
His biggest enemy was the bogus doctor.
Don't remind me. That guy was evil. He had wild, staring eyes like a dead fish. I'll never trust a doctor again. Do you think the assassin was responsible for killing Marquet?
I don't think so. He could have finished him off the first time. Besides, Marquet would have recognized him.
He was pumped to the gills with sedatives. He wouldn't have recognized the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse unless they'd introduced themselves.
Se, det sjove var, Moni, at jeg ved ikke, om du hørte det, men ham vi lige har besøgt, ham der døde, han troede, at George var en af Hassashin. Så nu har vi Hassashin som en karakter, eller en type karakter, og vi har Knights Templar på den anden side. Det er Assassin's Creed. I Assassin's Creed spiller vi som Assassins, eller The Hassashin.
Let's take another look at the manuscript.
Nej, jeg skal ikke kigge på manuskriptet. Jeg ved præcis, hvad jeg skal.
No.
No.
I guess I'd better go back and talk to that weirdo.
Which one? Rousseau or Sergeant Mou? Oh, but you're referring to Andre.
I'll let you work it out.
Vi besøger Musekron. Er Andre kommet tilbage? Hallo! Hello, Julie.
I beg your pardon. Are you Andre Lobineau?
That's me. You want my autograph?
No. I was told you may be able to help me.
Help?
My name is George Stobart. I'd like your professional opinion.
Well, okay. Shoot.
George, nu skal du altså snart bruge den zapper på nogen, ellers så stopper jeg den op, hvor solen ikke skinner. Jamen, så lad os lige prøve den.
I'd like to shake you by the hand, Andre.
Not now, Georgie.
Georgie.
Does the name Montfaucon mean anything to you?
Sure. It was the most grisly spectacle in Paris until the Revolution.
A public toilet?
Montfaucon was the place of execution for many thousands. A dark temple of death, with row upon row of arches, each one framing a grim exhibit. Scores of rotting corpses swung on creaking rope, while the crows devoured their flesh.
That explains the image of the hanged man. I found a reference to Montfaucon in Ireland, in a village called Lochmarn.
Lochmarn? That's where Pegram was digging.
That's right. He'd left the excavation before I arrived. Do you know Pegram well?
Not really. I met him at a conference. I would have liked to talk to him in depth, but I didn't have time.
When was this?
Oh, back in the summer, July, I think.
I think you ought to know that the tripod is going to be stolen.
The Lochmarn tripod? No.
It's true. I can give you a description of the thieves.
Before the supposed event has taken place?
I heard them planning the raid.
They're wasting their time. The tripod is protected by a state-of-the-art alarm system.
Well, don't say I didn't warn you. Have you ever heard of the Hashashin?
Why, yes. It was a radical Muslim sect whose name became synonymous with murder. It was formed in 11th century Persia, shortly before the Crusades.
At roughly the same time as the Templars.
Yes. They gave a new word to our language. Assassini. The assassins.
Why don't you loan the tripod to me for safekeeping?
Because I'd never see it again.
Well, don't you trust me?
It's not a question of trust, George. That tripod is hundreds of years old and extremely fragile.
I get your point. I'd like your opinion on a medieval manuscript.
Vraiment? Do you have it with you?
No, it's too fragile. And besides, there are certain people who'd stop at nothing to get their hands on it.
Intriguing. Do you have a copy of the text?
There isn't much. Only a few Latin phrases. I was kind of hoping you'd help decipher the pictures.
Without seeing the manuscript, that's a tall order.
Just tell me one thing. What does the image of two men riding on the same horse suggest to you?
The Knights Templar. Does the Templar seal appear on this manuscript? I'd love to see that for myself.
Can you tell me anything about the Knights Templar?
I sure can, Georgie. Soldiers, diplomats, mercenaries, monks, bankers, you name it, the Templars fit the bill. The greatest fighting force in Christendom, the militia of Christ.
Jeez.
Kan vide, om de også nævner noget om The Peace of Eden og...
How did the Templars get their name?
From the building in which they set up their headquarters. The King of Jerusalem gave them part of a mosque on the Temple Mount. It was said to have been the site of the original Temple of Solomon. The order became known first as the Knights of the Temple, and later as the Knights Templar.
You're a mine of information, Andre.
Glad to be of help, Georgie.
How come the Templars became so wealthy?
There was a constant stream of new recruits to their ranks, many from noble families. They were required to swear a sacred oath of poverty, chastity, and obedience. So, their money, goods, and lands were donated to the order. The Templars soon held land in France, Scotland, England, Spain, most of Europe, in fact. The poor Knights of Christ became the wealthiest power in Christendom.
Det er faktisk... Jeg elsker historien om The Knights Templar. Jeg har læst rigtig mange forskellige ting om den. Så da det var faktisk det her spil, der gjorde, at jeg blev interesseret i Knights Templar. Og så da Assassin's Creed udkom, altså det var bare drømmen. Det vækkede så meget.
Is it true the treasure of the Knights Templar was never found?
Who knows? So little knowledge of what really happened remains. Oh, if it does, the truth has never been made public.
What do you mean by that?
The Templars have attained mythological status, like the King Arthur of the Britons. There are people even now who say the Templars still exist.
Do you think that's likely?
No, not for a minute.
De skal bare tjekke Abstergo.
How did the assassins get their name?
From the legends surrounding the secrets of their initiation rites. A young man who sought to join the sect was given hashish until he drifted into dreams. He awoke to find himself in a fabulous garden with everything he could wish for. The freshest water, the most delicious food, the choicest hash, and the most delectable women imaginable.
Cool. Do you have the address?
I haven't finished the story. There was a price to pay for this taste of paradise.
Wouldn't you just know it?
The young man would wake the next day to find himself back in the real world. He was told that he'd been given a glimpse of the heaven reserved for holy martyrs. A heaven he would enjoy for eternity if he was willing to join the Hashashin.
How did the assassins operate?
Well, as I explained, the new recruits would be only too willing to die for the cause. They'd be instructed in the use of the dagger, poisons, and disguise. Then, the Grand Master of the sect would name an enemy of Allah.
And they'd stop at nothing to eliminate that enemy.
You got it. They were fearless and deadly.
Does the cult of the assassins still exist?
Take a look around at the world today. You tell me.
Where was the site of Montfaucon?
To the northeast, near the Canal Saint-Martin. But there's nothing there now. The old gibbet was torn down during the Revolution.
The manuscript is being looked after by a friend.
In Paris?
Yeah. Not far from here, in fact.
Well, just give me the address and I'll come round and take a look.
I'm not so sure about that. Maybe I should check with her first.
A female friend?
Yeah, she's a woman. This friend who has the manuscript?
Oui, the anonymous girlfriend.
She lives at 361 Rue Jarry.
Ah, I know it well. I'll drop by. Just as soon as I can.
This friend, I cannot tell you the address. I have to check with her first. By the way, she lives here and here.
Thanks for your help, Andre.
You're welcome.
Kan jeg lave den der nu?
Attention! Please do not open the window, monsieur.
Don't you think it's kind of stuffy in here?
Better stuffy than dead.
What's the problem? Fumes from car exhausts?
Not just that, monsieur. There's a new burger bar opened up across the street. The Laughing Buffalo.
So what's the problem?
They cook their burgers on a charcoal grill. And the fat falls on the open flame. The amount of organic compound and smoke particles released is astounding. Since they opened, local air pollution has doubled. And it stinks like a funeral pyre. That is why I keep the windows closed.
Så det kan være, at det var et problem, fordi at han kiggede. Så næste gang, at han går herover af, så prøver jeg at åbne vinduet igen. Og mens han så er på vej over for at lugte, så går jeg ind i sarkofagen igen. Jeg synes, det lyder som en rigtig god plan.
It is closing time, Monsieur Lobineau.
Already, there just aren't enough hours in the day.
More than enough for me. I can't wait to get home and put my feet up.
Eh bien,
Put my feet
see you tomorrow.
Good night, monsieur.
Good night, monsieur. Der er de. Flap and Guido. Over here, boss!
Quit fooling around, you moron! Get your ass over here and bring that flashlight!
Want me to kill him, boss?
What the... Who's there?
Let's get out of here!
Ow.
Oh.
And when I woke up, I was at the police station. Luckily, I managed to persuade Rosso I was innocent.
Poor George.
What a mess. I bungled the whole thing.
I
fik en
don't
fucking
think
fisk
so.
ned over hovedet,
You made
altså.
a pretty good job of distracting those two crooks.
Yeah, but the killer got away with the tripod.
No, he didn't. He's not the only one who can dress up in costume.
You mean it was you who stole the tripod? Oh, hell, Nico. I could have been shot.
Those dogs are more likely to shoot their own feet.
I just wish you'd told me your plans. We're supposed to be in this together. And how come you dressed up like a pantomime cat?
Don't sulk, Georgie, please.
Oh, rats. And don't call me Georgie.
Oh, I really thought you'd be pleased. After all, we've got the tripod.
I really thought you'd be pleased.
Oh, by the way, I had a visit from André Lobineau.
Oh, yeah. I hope you didn't mind me giving him your address.
Not at all. It was lovely to see him again. He was over the moon when I showed him the manuscript. It's not often he gets that excited. He made a sketch of the Knight's crest to take back to the museum. I believe he's identified the family who bear that crest.
I sure hope so. Let's take another look at the manuscript.
Uh-huh.
Look there, two guys.
A knight. The knight through my...
Så der er ikke noget specifikt at se.
I'd better get back to the quest.
Snap. Mon façon.
Excuse me, officer. Shouldn't you be off directing traffic or something?
You have seen the Parisian traffic, no?
Yeah, so?
I could direct the traffic. The most dangerous, the east side of Rome. Or I can sit here and enjoy the sun, the architecture, and the Sauvignon. Which would you choose?
Yeah, but I'm not a policeman. What happened to duty?
An excellent question, monsieur.
George, man går ikke op til en random politimand, og noget af det allerførste, du siger, det er, hvorfor sidder du her? Burde du ikke være et sted og dirigere trafik eller sådan noget? Du er fra Amerika, for fuck's sake. Du er blevet skudt for sådan en kommentar.
What do you know about the Knights Templar?
Les Templiers. Only that they were excommunicated in 1312 and hanged in their dozens within this very square.
Boy, what they teach in the police academy these days.
No, monsieur. I read it on that board over there.
Ham George
I'll
der.
see you around.
Oui, monsieur. I'll be there.
Oui, monsieur. I'll be here. It's the Killer Clown.
Hey, you with the balls.
Oui?
How did you learn to be a juggler?
Juggler? What is this, juggler?
It's you. You juggle, that makes you a juggler.
No, I am a jongleur.
A jongler? What's that?
Mon Dieu! A jongleur is an artist, a master of the contragravitic aeroballatic mysteries. In centuries past, the courts of the crowned heads of Europe had the jongleurs, witty, erudite men to whom the monarchs turned in their hours of need.
Wait a minute, wait. Let me get this straight. Our enemies are at the borders, plague ravages the land, and the peasants are revolting. Thank God we've got Chuckles the Jongler to throw his balls around. I don't think so.
Mr. Slug!
That juggling doesn't look so difficult.
Oh, it does not, does it not? Perhaps you feel you could do better, no?
I'll give it a try.
Be my guest.
Oh, I'll give it a try. No.
I had no idea what I was doing. But this guy was obviously an idiot, so how difficult could it be? A lot more difficult than I thought. That's how difficult.
Wow, George.
Still,
wow.
It was my big chance to be derided by complete strangers.
Not so easy after all, is it?
No, I guess not.
This guy is an idiot. He does not know the word juggler.
Hi again.
Oui? What is it this time?
Look, a red nose.
Ah, you are a clown.
A clown?
No. If so, you would be a much better jongleur.
For a moment, an idea capered around near the spotlight of my attention, but fell down the pothole of abstraction before I could focus on it. Look, a red nose.
Ah, no.
For a moment, but fell down. What do you know?
Let's play. Ah, the last Grandmaster, Jacques Dumoulin, was burned.
Han er bare en
on an
yber,
island in the Seine
yber
in
douche, ham der
1314.
George.
Wow. You're pretty well educated for a juggler.
No, monsieur. I read it on that board over there.
Prøv at, hvis det var mig, der havde fået at vide, hvis jeg stod og var en jonglør, og det var et, altså, det er noget, man har trænet i rigtig lang tid, og så kommer der en eller anden jubelidiot over til en og siger, ja, du er faktisk meget klog af en jonglør at være.
Catch you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
I had no desire to talk to the crowd.
Han var blevet skudt ned på hovedbanen.
Excuse me, Father.
Pardon?
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Not at all, monsieur. It will be my pleasure to help you.
How long have you worked here?
Hardly work, monsieur. This is a calling. I have been helping Father Flambert for nearly 6 months now.
Lad os se, om der er noget i den her, hvor han snakker til ham her, præsten her. Hvor mange gange han når at fornærme ham.
I guess you don't know much about the history of this church, then.
Just a little.
You've got quite a shine on that candlestick.
Ah, oui. Anything less than best would be an insult to the Almighty.
I guess so. I never thought of it like that. What do you know about the Knights Templar?
You have come to the right place, if that is your interest. Many of them were executed in the square outside. It was a disgrace to France.
Well, the Pope was right behind it, though.
Clement V was a man of mammon, not of God.
That's kind of forthright for a priest, isn't it?
You think so? It is hard to be sure what happened. It is so long ago.
I thought about using the shake and shock on him, but I couldn't do that to a priest. Catch you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Au revoir.
On the end of the staff was some kind of disc with a cross on it. Around the base of the disc was a hairline crack. Well, I could have just taken the end off the staff, but I wanted to be sure what I'd be getting out of vandalizing a church, other than deported. A stone knight lay in full stone armor, blank eyes looking at the ceiling. Carrying all that armor around must have been hard work. I didn't recognize the biblical story in it. I was a Sunday school dropout.
Okay, der er et eller andet her. Jeg har en idé om, hvad det var, jeg skal. Det er noget med ham her.
Hi again.
Oui? What is it this time?
It didn't seem right to fry somebody's palm when they make their living with their hands. Have you seen this man before?
No.
No.
Catch you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Politimand?
Hello again.
Hello again, monsieur.
Does this red nose mean anything to you?
Ah, you are a clown.
Do I look like a clown?
Yeah.
No, although you juggle like one. Now, if I'd known you were a clown, it would have been amusing. And not a humiliation for you.
What do you mean?
Who ever heard of a plain-clothes clown?
He had a point.
So you're saying that if I juggle badly with a red nose, I'd be the king of comedy. But if I juggle badly without it...
You look like a pathetic loon. Oui, monsieur. You have it.
Så fik jeg lige min gode idé. Det var da godt, at jeg lige fik den gode idé der.
I'll be there.
I'll be here.
Hi again.
Oui? What is it this time?
I'd like to have another try at juggling, please.
Do I look like a clown?
Perhaps.
No. I just had an insight into presentation.
Huh?
Allow me to demonstrate. The balls, please.
If you insist on completing your humiliation, monsieur.
Okay, now for my secret weapon. The juggler was speechless with rage. You could have mistaken him for a mime. And without a word, he collected his balls and left in a fury. Hey! You forgot one of your balls! Hey! But he didn't hear. Better still, deprived of his entertainment, the gendarme decided maybe he ought to do some policing for a change.
Oh, George. George! He forgot his balls.
The wall had flaked, and anything once written on it had long since gone. The inscription was hard to read, but I made out Templiers and something about innocence. My medieval French isn't much, but the few words I understood seemed to say, "This is where the gallows used to stand." Maybe.
Okay, så skal vi gætte på det den midterste?
The hook lay in a bed of chain. The hook lay in a bed of chain. The inscription was...
Hvad laver du? Det var ikke det, jeg prøvede.
The hook lay in a...
Det ved jeg godt. Burde jeg ikke kunne...
The inscription... The wall had... The inscription was... I wondered... The wall had flaked. There were 3 arches, each with an inscription.
Wow, hvor blev han af?
The wall had flaked.
Okay.
The wall had...
Okay, jeg ved godt, hvor jeg... Okay, det er så den der, jeg skal ind af. Men hvordan... Det gætter jeg på, at jeg ikke kan gøre med de andre. Nej, det kan jeg ikke. Det er kun den der. Okay. Har jeg noget her? Den der? Ja, jeg kan jo gøre sådan her. Og sige...
It was time for some brutal destruction. Hey, that's hollow! I'd poked a hole in an historical site. If any archaeologists came by, they'd lynch me for this. There was some sort of mechanism hidden inside the wall, with a lever in the middle of it.
Undskyld, jeg kom til at slå mikrofonen.
Here goes. The secret door had jammed. I couldn't get through that gap.
Så kan vi tage. Og nu er det vigtigt. Historietid.
In the beginning was the end. An end wrought by our enemies began our darkness. In the end will be a beginning. An end to our enemies heralds our new day.
Report. The military establishments are in flux. The end of the Cold War has left them with no clear goal and as obvious targets for budgetary cuts. He has successfully promoted a sense of betrayal in the upper echelons. They feel that the politicians have cast them adrift. The pattern is emerging. Our time is now.
Good. Mademoiselle?
Governments are giving the corporations more respect than their own citizens. A groundswell of dissatisfaction and dissidence is growing. The corporations are becoming too large and complex for their own executives to control them. A blind belief in market forces is accelerating this trend the world over. The pattern is emerging. Our time is now.
The global population's belief in those that govern it has never been lower. We have inculcated a sense of immediacy and action over forethought and planning in all the major governments. They are acting on hasty decisions that cannot be completed or revoked without appearing foolish. The pattern is emerging. Our time is now.
Excellent. The tired old governments are dying
Er
a
det...
slow death from their own
Nej.
incompetence and our machinations. Professor, where is the broken sword?
He said it! He said the thing!
As we discussed last time, with the loss of the manuscript, our search is as a corollary hindered.
And as discussed last time, you have been furnished with a dramatically increased budget. What have you been doing with our money, Professor?
We are working on the principle that the Templars, that is to say our predecessors,
Hold on. These are the Templars?
must have left a trail when they were hiding the clues to the sword of Baphomet's location. I have a small army of historians and archaeologists ferreting out that trail.
I trust these historians and archaeologists are more trustworthy than your friend Pegram.
Pegram was loyal. He tried to protect the Lochmarn gem when the Hashashin came near.
And failed. And don't call that Syrian maniac the Hashashin. He's an assassin. Plain and simple.
That's not what he believes. He actually thinks.
Silence! Do I have to remind you that we have a sacred duty? A trust? When Philippe attempted to destroy the Order, we lost the sword and our power with it. Now we have the opportunity to reforge it. But time is short. We need results, not petty bickering, not excuses. Now, Professor Baphomet.
Yes, of course, my apologies. We will find Baphomet and the sword, manuscript or no. We have already found another element actually within Paris.
Excellent. What is it?
Well, we're not exactly sure at present.
Ha!
But I have my best people working on it. You would do well not to criticize others, Eklund. At least I have not murdered one of our own.
Of course. That guy was the bogus doctor in the hospital.
Marquet was a liability. Eklund dealt with him on my orders.
I beg your pardon, Grandmaster. I did not mean to.
Have you any good news for us, Professor?
We already know 3 of the elements. We know that Klausner had obtained the lens before he vanished.
Where was he?
Syria. We know that he arrived, but after that, nothing.
The assassin.
I fear so. It's a shame. Klausner was a good operative.
This will be our last meeting in person until we locate the sword of Baphomet. I hope that I don't need to emphasize the importance of finding it. Without it, our endeavors come to nothing. With the sword reforged, we will have the power to sweep the stage of all opposition the next time that we meet. It will be to become the princess of this world!
The princess of the world. Okay, det var rigtig meget information, vi fik der. Først og fremmest har jeg bare lige genskab alt, hvad der var, der blev sagt. Og nogle af tingene vil faktisk svare på de ting, som I siger i chatten. Så først og fremmest, dem vi så her, det var, siger de, ikke forfædre, hvad er det den modsatte side af forfædre? Det er sønnerne. Efterkommere. Tak, champion. Efterkommerne er The Knights Templar. morderne, som vi har efterforsket, som er for eksempel ham i klovnekostymet, i pixie-kostymet og alt det der, det er The Assassin. Eller også kaldt, som I selv lige siger, The Assassins. Og ja, det er faktisk lige præcis historien fra Assassin's Creed, som vi er i gang med at se her i nutidig. Så det vil sige, de ting, som i Assassin's Creed, de nævner med Abstergo, og Abstergo er et firma, som der er blevet oprettet af Knights Templar efterkommere, for at finde The Piece of Eden, som er en ting, som der kan gøre, at de bliver hersker over verden. Det eneste forskel her mellem Assassin's Creed-spillene og Broken Sword-spillet er, at i Broken Sword, der er det 2 onde styrker, som der vil overtage verden. Så det er enten Assassins, som der vil overtage verden, eller det er The Knights Templar, som vil overtage verden. Det er simpelthen bare sådan en blanding af pest eller kolera. Og vi er simpelthen fanget midt i kampen mellem The Knights Templar og The Assassins. De snakkede om, at når de fandt sværdet, så og det var det her Broken Sword, når de fandt sværdet, så havde de alle løsninger til at kunne basically overtage verden. Og det har jeg sgu ikke lige lyst til at lade dem til at lade ske. Men samtidig så vil Assassins også have mulighed for at få de her ting her. Og en af deres kompagnoner, kollegaer, er taget til Syrien for at finde en linse. Ikke dem man spiser, men dem der sidder på for eksempel et kamera. Og hvis vi husker fra manuskriptet, og vi kommer også helt sikkert lige til at se manuskriptet igen, så var der en person, som der havde en tripod, hvor der sad en juvel på, og så var der en linse, som der tog imod solens, og puttede det ind igennem krystallen, og så skete der et eller andet. Og det er helt sikkert det, som de hensyder til, når de snakker om, at de skulle finde en linse. Og den linse, den kunne findes i Syrien. No omnis moria.
There was a large circle marked out on the floor with a stump in the middle. Around the circle, I could see words inlaid into the stone. On the circle's circumference were the Templar seal and 2 Latin phrases, non omnis moriar and clarior e tenebris. I shall not die completely, the brighter from the darkness.
Og kan I se, den har 3 ben? Mon ikke det betyder, at jeg kan sætte en tripod lige der?
The tripod's feet fitted neatly into the notches on the top of the stump.
Og hvad sidder der oven på tripodden? Jamen, der sidder der selvfølgelig en.
The light falling from above struck the gem and scattered in 5 neat rays. And each ray picked out a letter. Starting from the left, I could read M-A-R-I-B. Marib. Now all I had to do was figure out what the heck that meant.
Og hvad er Marib? 4 hours
Nico,
later.
I've seen them.
Who?
The Templars. I spied on their meeting in the catacombs.
And you saw the Knights Templar?
I saw a bunch of guys masquerading as
Marib
Templars.
did an Pokemon.
They're after something called the Sword of Baphomet. The bogus doctor was there, the guy who killed Marquet. The manuscript is the key, just as we thought. It shows the way to the broken sword, whatever that is.
And how does the assassin fit into all these?
He's out to stop them. These Neo-Templars, they're men and women in influential positions. Don't you see? Plantar was one of them. The assassin killed him for the manuscript, to stop them finding the sword.
But now we have got the manuscript.
Yes.
So, how do they hope to find the sword?
I don't know. They said something about a lens and a guy called Klausner who's gone to Syria. but they didn't seem to realize the significance of the very site of their meeting. You see, after they'd gone, I discovered a stone pedestal and a carved inscription. I set up the gem on the tripod, directly below a beam of light. The gem split the beam and lit the letters M-A-R-I-B.
Marib is a village in Syria.
Then the Neo-Templars are ahead of us. Klausner beat me to it.
You're not thinking of going there yourself, are you?
Why not?
These guys are crazy and dangerous. That reminds me, you should leave the gem here.
Okay, what about the tripod?
I'll send it back to Andre, anonymously.
Skal vi lige kigge på og se, hvor linsen er, fordi så husker jeg forkert, hvor linsen var på manuskriptet. Så det var der, hvor jeg... Så der, det er den, vi lige har fundet nu. Den kørte over og stadig over til Marib. Er det der så linsen? Den der crystal ball der, det kunne godt være en linse. Og så ser man Mon Fasson i baggrunden. Fordi det er nok ikke et spejl. Jeg ved ikke lige, hvad der ses derovre. Men nu tager vi en tur til Syrien. Og når vi kommer til Syrien, så stopper vi for den her gang. Few hours later. Så er vi sgu kommet til Syrien. Save. Hvor langt er vi så kommet? Save. Yes, sådan der. Så før var vi 31%. Nu er vi 59%. Ja, for god ordens skyld. Som pre-stream-spil i dag, der spillede jeg Beat the Beat, som er et rytmespil på Wii. Og det her, det er Broken Sword, Shadow of the Templars, The Director's Cut, som jeg stille og roligt går igennem. Planen er at gennemføre det. Jeg er tilbage igen torsdag. Lad os lige gå ind og se, hvordan det ser. For jeg kan da ikke huske, hvem der streamer hvornår. Men det har jeg heldigvis folk til. Det er sådan der. I morgen, der streamer Dalek. Og han har tænkt sig at spille Jump King. Og på torsdag, der er jeg tilbage med mere Broken Sword, hvor vi skal besøge Syrien. Og hvor kan man se det? Jo, nu skal du nemlig høre. Hvis du besøger vores Discord, så på siden, når man kommer ind, så oppe i toppen er der events inde på vores kanal. Og de her events peger til vores streams. Så hver gang, at der er et eller andet i sådan, hvad der sker på stream, kan man altid se i form af events. Vi har i øjeblikket 2 events, der kører. N-Club Stream Jump King, der ligger klar med sidste omgang Jump King inden sommerferien. Og torsdag N-Club Stream Broken Sword, til de er klar med mere Broken Sword. Og Dalek siger også, der er feriesang. Feriesang. Det skal nok blive godt. Jeg trykker på den der knap. Og ved du hvad? Jeg vil gerne have lov til at sige, at det her spil her, Broken Sword, det er faktisk virkelig godt. Det er en rigtig, rigtig spændende historie. Man kan sige mange ting om George. Han er ikke den mest sympatiske person i verden. Han er faktisk direkte en nar nogle gange. Jeg mener, at han er bedre i toeren end mere. Han bliver skrevet bedre i toeren. Så Mr. Slug siger hej brormand til Dalek. Jeg undrer faktisk, er Broken Sword udgivet på nogle Nintendo-maskiner? Broken Sword 2. Mr. Slug er en pølse. Hvis jeg prøver at gå ind her og så skriver Broken Sword 2, jeg mener det hedder Smoking Mirror. Broken Sword 2. Ja, Smoking Mirror. Er det på Wii? Broken Sword 2. Hvad er det kommet på? Hvilken enheder er spillet? OS X, iOS og Android. Og ellers er det kommet på PlayStation og PC. Så nej, toeren er ikke på nogen Nintendo-maskiner. Fuck, hvor irriterende. Vi finder ud af det. Ja, jeg vil sige tak, fordi I kiggede med. Og kan I have en fantastisk dag. Ha' det så godt derhjemme.